run rampant.
Do I call?
Oh, we're on stream. Okay.
No.
I just want to put a rifle in my mouth.
We are not plugging those girls in this podcast. No, thank you.
Waiting for that live notice. All right,
Right to the dome.
Hello, everyone. It's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Talking Yugioh Into the VRAINS, our episodic podcast of Into the VRAINS. Of course, a sub-podcast of Talking Yugioh is over. But we do have a lot of top 5 lists to get to. Now, the way these streams are all going to work is me, Calibro, Nick T, and Pete are going to give our top 5 list for each topic. I did make a video earlier today going over my top 10. So if you've seen that video, you know what my top 5 are going to be. But as we go over our top 5, they are going to be filled in the text bubbles down there. So that's just something, even if you join the video late or you join any stream late, you can always see our top 5 list in full. And again, if you want to know my top 10 in depth on this topic, which is, of course, the top 5 unanswered questions of Yugioh VRAINS, the link is in the description. We also have a link in the description for a poll. The first video of the top 10 VRAINS videos was decided by my patrons. The public, anyone watching this video, can go down below. You guys can vote in the poll of the next top 10 VRAINS video. Duels, characters, or duels we wish we saw. Definitely go into the description right now of this video and vote. I am joined by 5 lovely people. How are you guys doing? If you want to go around quickly, shout yourselves out.
Me, I'm Kate.
Cal.
Nick T.
Megan.
Pete.
And thank you guys, so much for coming on, as always. Thank you guys.
Anytime.
Thank you guys for joining on this lovely Friday evening, Saturday afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. And I guess the best thing we can do is get right into it.
All right, Dylan, why don't you start us off?
Well, I
had to do it.
You got it.
That was good.
It's my line, baby. I had to do it.
So it's kind of interesting because I actually need to follow along and make sure that I'm editing correctly or
Adding
correctly.
the little...
Okay, I'll be able to do it. But thank you to everyone for coming by the way. I do appreciate it. And leave some of your unanswered questions or any answers you might have to the questions we go over in the comments as well. I do love to read back the live stream chat replay. Who wants to start? Who's kicking us off today?
I say Pete.
Ooh.
Bam. Pete, it's you, my friend.
That'll be my job for tonight, is picking who goes next.
Okay, I like that.
True.
Yeah.
So you want me to start my list, or you
Just number 5.
Just
number 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot to pick from.
Was it hard for you? Because I know it was difficult for Cal.
Yeah, it was hard.
It's tough for me to get 10.
Especially ranking a top 5, too, of like what I consider the least important on this top 5 list and the most like unanswered.
Sure.
So 5, I'd put who were Yusaku's parents.
Okay.
That was definitely number 5. I mean, it's something I wanted to know. I felt like a thing a lot of people have complained about with Yusaku is we don't have enough depth on him, right? We don't have enough character development on him. And so I feel like exploring his family history and having his parents there, what's kind of his relationship with them, losing them, what kind of effect did it have on him? Because we didn't explore a lot of those topics throughout the show, so I felt that was very unanswered that they barely, and I mean barely, touched on that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at Soul Burner, right? We see how much that affected what happened to his parents throughout the entirety of the show since he was introduced. Yusaku, nothing.
Yep.
And he was in, 45 more episodes than Soul Burner?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as a main character, we were owed that. And we were never given it.
No, I think it's fair.
Yeah, that's definitely... I mean, that made it somewhere on my list,
That made my top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had it higher, but
Yeah,
I think it
me
made
too.
all of our top 5.
It did make all our top 5.
So we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the rankings there.
We'll
but,
each get into it,
absolutely,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Nick T, I guess we'll just go clockwise.
So mine... So, disclaimer here, at least for the top... Yeah, for this one specifically. I made this list about at 3:30 this morning.
It's like a
The
day
first
now.
4, easy. 5, I was like, what
So
am
you
I
struggled on the 5th, too.
The 5th, I was
Yeah.
like, what am I putting here? And so I sort of defaulted to this one here, and it's, what happened with Miyu? You know, she goes to the hospital, everyone saves the day, and we know that Aoi visits her. We never see it. We never hear from anything about her ever again. Mm-hmm. What happens with Miyu? I felt like they had set it up initially for so much more to be done with her, given that she was, the person that Aqua was initially based on. That was her partner. and I felt like we were owed more, at least a little more, with Miyu. But given the time constraints and everything that happened, it was cut for time. So I would have liked to see more with that. So I feel like that was sort of an unanswered question there. What's the deal with Miyu? She's gone. We don't even see Aoi visit her. It's just told.
Fair. One of the only alive and well characters that definitely did not get a conclusion at the very end. Miyu would have probably was close to making an honorable mention for me. I listed off characters in the show that disappeared, and at the end, at least, not disappeared, but not knowing the fate of Miyu was one. Kitamura, remember him way back?
Oh, true.
We don't know
I
what
should have put
happened to him.
Kitamura there. Actually.
The other one was Queen. Queen made number 10 on my top 10. I didn't think any of them had the importance to put in my top 5 personally.
Yeah.
But Queen, I just put her above Miyu and Kitamura because I feel like, at least with Miyu, we know she's alive and conscious.
Right, because we've been told that.
Right. And with Queen, we literally do not know what happened to her.
She loses the duel, and that's it.
Yeah, and she somehow lost her position at Soul Tech.
Yeah.
Would have been cool to get any sort of touch on her. A kind of theory that I like is maybe I purposely chose not to release her data to kind of make her stay in permanent comatose as retribution for what she did to Earth. I think that's kind of cool.
It would
I mean,
make the most sense. Otherwise, what then? What?
Otherwise, she got revived, and then
he forces her to resign.
Right, exactly.
I don't think he was also afraid of her. I mean, he wiped the floor with her.
Exactly,
So it wasn't like a
exactly.
strategy in that way.
Exactly,
And we've seen how he took it out on Go for Earth. So why wouldn't he do the same to Queen?
Right,
You know?
and not release Queen's data upon his defeat. I think that's an interesting discussion. But Miyu, that's a good one. Caliber, what about you?
All right, so number 5 for me is, I feel like it's one that, I guess, a bigger question that a lot of people had, but it's just basically, what is Playmaker doing at the end? Like, where is he going? Why is he on a mission to do something else? Like we said with all the other characters, they have this happy ending at the end. Everyone's, going about their day. Jin is alive and well, cracking jokes to people, serving customers. And everyone's talking to each other. Like, Soulburner brings his girlfriend into the brains, and he's having, like...
Girlfriend.
I mean...
Dude, you cannot deny that.
It is.
yeah.
They make a sexual innuendo.
And
at the
then
beginning of that
she's, like,
scene.
holding on to him on
makes
the
me so
board.
mad.
And she's like, you're so cool. Like, come
I'm
on.
I didn't make it
nervous.
that far yet.
But... I don't know. It's just he's the only one that has like no description of what he's doing.
Sure.
And you see him at the end, and he's like riding as almost like I guess the imagery would be he's riding off into the sunset, but he's riding off into another universe. Is really what it looks like.
Right.
Because they said it's connecting all these different worlds, or I don't remember the exact word they used, but like, and he's just there's no story behind it, no reason where he's going, no idea of what he's doing. So for me, it's like. I guess it's hard to answer a question of the end of the show, but at the same time, it's like, you get nothing on it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, and Yusaku's fate made number 6 for me, so
Okay,
it just
yeah.
missed out on my top 5. And what I think is really interesting, because it's very easy to just kind of look at it very briefly and say, oh, he's somewhere in the VRAINS, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot deeper than that,
Yeah,
because,
It has to
like,
be.
the Knights of Hanoi are monitoring Link VRAINS.
Right.
You imagine Soul Technologies is monitoring Link VRAINS. I'm sure Shoichi has run his own scans.
Right.
Yeah.
Never before in the VRAINS has there been more of an eye on it.
Right.
Right.
And so they're all looking for any signs of Playmaker, and he's not in the VRAINS.
Yeah.
So I think he's in like some dark web version of Link VRAINS, and I think that's really, really fascinating.
Right, and I think that's probably where I would be, hypothetically, right? If he's searching...
You think he's searching for I?
I think he's searching for I, and I think that's where he would find it. Not in the VRAINS, but in some dark web...
Wherever
deep web
that
version.
data goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where data goes to die, if you will.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's really interesting. But yeah, that's a good number 5 pick. It just missed out on the top 5 for me.
Fair.
Number 5 for me. Let's quickly multitask, get
Let's
it up.
see it.
Most people know this. The chess pieces came in number 5.
Sure.
I mean,
Come on.
come on is right.
Yep.
What happened to them? Honestly, they're probably gonna rank for the people that are watching way higher on my disappointments list. That's probably a top 3 disappointment of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. It might even be at the very top. Like, that was a huge letdown.
Yep.
Characters that, to me, were built up not incredibly well, but definitely built up to be more than what they were.
It was being set up for more.
Yeah,
Yes.
you paint this picture of these ominous chess pieces, these huge, massive figures towering over Akira, giving him information on what to do, talking about the VRAINS. And the second that all the onus shift to lightning, that was basically the end of
That one
Soul Tech.
that one and maybe a few other of the questions are interesting because those ideas, that one's being one of them, were abandoned before we even knew this show was going to be shorter.
Yeah.
That was abandoned before season 2 even began.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true.
So a lot of our questions we knew the show was cut for time, so it's not going to get answered.
Yeah.
The chess pieces by season 2, that was done.
Disappeared.
That idea was gone.
You had Queen, and then there was one scene where, and I don't even remember what episode this scene was in, but there was one scene where it was Akira facing all of the chess pieces.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't even remember.
Very early.
Very early.
Oh, it was very early.
early.
Oh, I thought that was like a season 2 scene.
No,
No,
it's
I think
not.
it was season
Oh,
1.
that was very
It was
early.
definitely season
It might have been honestly episode 7 or something.
Yeah,
With,
I think it was-
with the 6
Oh,
chess
yeah, I had it
pieces?
too.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Like the sixth
really,
one.
Oh, right.
really
'cause
early.
you-
If she's seen it, it's within the first
No, because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
The
that
first
moment
16 episodes.
that
and
moment I
just
think
recently
happens
saw it.
before
I
the
was gonna
first
say, I didn't make
recap
it past
episode.
Yes.
3 yet.
Yes.
I'm only in
If I remember
episode
that correctly.
3.
So that's the thing. We knew that it wasn't just like these 3 chess pieces. There were
Yeah.
all of the chess pieces
Yep.
there.
Right.
And it's very easy to say, oh, well, Queen is the Queen chess piece.
Sure.
in that
Easy. Of course.
view.
Well,
but then
you did a whole video on who the
King,
bishop was.
Right, well, that didn't come
Yeah.
true. But then you also have the 3, universe kings at the
Yep.
start of season 3.
Right.
I mean, there was just so much more to be developed there, and I think the big unanswered question
Yeah.
is, where did they go?
Yep.
What happened to them?
Yeah.
And, it ranks high on this topic, and it's going to rank very
Yeah.
high on my disappointments video.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
It's
Yeah.
definitely one for both
Bum, bum,
lists.
bum.
Bum, bum, bum. I guess I'll just keep it going since I'm sure most people watching right now, big thank you to everyone who is tuned in, probably has seen my video from early on. So I'm just going to keep it rolling and go for number 4.
Let's get it rolling.
Yeah.
We're gonna snake it, go back the other way.
Yep. And that's going to be Yusaku's Link Sense. This is actually, I don't know if any of you guys had this on your list.
I was thinking about putting it, but I could not think of the word, and I didn't want to go back
Link
in the video.
sense, yeah.
Link sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my honorable mention.
So, okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
If I could think of the word, it probably would have replaced the Miyu thing, but I just couldn't.
Fair. Yeah, none of you guys had it on your list, which was kind of surprising, but Link Sense to me was one of those things that was very talked about early on. One of the first scenes of the show, especially when Yusaku and Revolver cross paths, Yusaku is in the real world, and he's able to see Revolver in Link VRAINS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
with
he's-
the drag.
With riding on the dragon, so he's that in tune to Link VRAINS that he's able
Yep.
to feel things going on in the network when he's not even in the network. We kind of see it in season 2 during the Bowman duel, where you can hear the screams from the
right.
people in Link VRAINS,
Never mind.
but it was never touched on as to why he has it,
Yep.
how he has it, what its true purpose is, and I just felt like there was a lot of left open-ended when it came
Right.
to his Link Sense. Was it the Link Sense at the very end of this show that is leading him to I, that's allowing him to search for I? Maybe, but why is he the only one out of all the Lost Incident victims that has this ability?
And I feel like by the middle of season 1, by name, that idea is abandoned.
Yeah,
It's not mentioned
definitely
by name.
as the seasons go on,
It's
because
gone.
like by season 3, it did not get mentioned at all. I don't
No.
think.
Yeah.
Nope.
And it definitely dwindled and
Yeah,
dwindled.
it was like maybe implied once in season 2, but by name, I think they only mentioned it like halfway through the series, and that was it.
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Not series, excuse me, season 1.
Yeah.
And that was it, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I mean, which could have been a big big implication.
Absolutely, yeah. It was definitely a fascinating topic.
Mm-hmm.
And, when it comes to it, really and truthfully, the Lost Incident victims, there was more focus on the Ignis created from the Lost Incident victims than the victims themselves,
Right.
Yeah.
which is something that I would have preferred
always
the
cycle
inverse
back to
of.
that, yeah.
That's a disappointment of mine.
Yeah.
But I like what I saw with the Link Sense too. I think we probably said this in some of our earlier videos, like where we were like, maybe Usaku's an AI.
Yeah.
Remember we like that was like
There
a
were
crack
some,
theory.
there were some people who
that
commented
was like
that
a
on
crack
my
theory.
video.
Like Usaku might be
half
an AI.
half
yeah.
AI, half human.
Like what
hybrid.
Go turned into basically
Yes.
is what people thought like Usaku already was.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's why he was seeing these things and had this sense. Which I mean, if you're putting 2 and 2 together, it kind of makes sense.
It definitely does make sense.
But then that whole thing, like you said, the sense just completely disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it just, and also, I guess this kind of goes with Link Sense, maybe not, but it's not on my list and all that. Like the skills. Like in the duels, they could use their skill.
Sure, they just
So like burning draw for Soul Burner,
Right.
or like the going into the Data Storm, like that was not used after
No, it was
like
definitely
the
used,
middle of season 2.
Definitely used less and less because speed duels were kind of written out of the show.
But even some of the Master Duels, they would use them.
well, that was like
That was
Bowman
that was
BS.
the Ignis. That was only Windy and Bowman. They both basically
They
cheated
cheated.
to kind of use them.
But I mean, if you're gonna do
Is that what
it,
we
if they're
made
gonna do it, like
No, I know. what you
Lightning
mean.
won.
Lightning
we're not getting into it.
Lightning did
did
win.
win. He did win. Everyone at this table knows that.
Yep.
I know it. You know it. Caliber knows it too.
Yeah.
Your number 4.
My number 4. I have to make sure I have the numbers right, so I have my list here. Okay. Oh yeah. So number 4 was Ai's fate, and basically, like we were kind of talking about before, where is he? Like, what happens to a guy like Ai, or a guy like Ai, like an AI?
Mm-hmm.
Their data, like he's able to just bring all the data back that he collects, right,
Mhm,
and just has it right away. Boom, everybody's back to normal. But they have no idea where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it kind of tied in with playmakers. You could flip them if you wanted. They're kind of similar for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, if that's where he's going, he's basically thinking the same thing as us.
Sure.
Like, after losing that, where do you go? Like, where is he? And like, since he comes alive, I guess, at the end, where he's like, huh? Like, where am I? Whatever. It's like, it makes you think, even though they fade away, or what was it, like, dissolve is what he said?
Yeah.
Like, when he disappears, it's like, they're still going somewhere else. They're not gone. It's not like you're literally deleting the data. It's just being moved somewhere else.
Right. Sure.
So there's always that thought of like, okay, so where is it? Like, is that accessible? Can they get everything back?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, he should be able to get all the other Ignis should be able to come back too.
Maybe.
So
Maybe.
that's basically my
I'm
thoughts on it.
honestly surprised you have it that low.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll get into that a little later on.
Wow.
Nick Tate, what's your number 4?
So it was Yusaku's parents, just as Pete brought up. I think
5,
Pete.
yeah.
Right, that was number 4 for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Pete really mostly touched upon my own feelings on it. Really, I think as him being the main protagonist, being in the most amount of episodes, we were sort of owed somewhat of a backstory, but we know nothing about any of his caretakers, his family, like who even took care of him for, most of his life, pre or post incident. We have no idea, not even an inkling of an idea. And I think so. Even though I worded it as Yusaku's parents, it could have been grandparents, aunt, uncle,
Any family.
any family, any
Caretakers, yeah.
guardian whatsoever. But we were not given any of that.
And it's something that I'm going to get to too later on in my list, as I'm sure most people probably know. Just assuming most people here have probably seen my video from earlier. It's something that definitely should have been touched on.
Absolutely.
And it's not like he didn't have caretakers. He had to have had caretakers. There's no way there's nobody watching over this 7-year-old kid
Right.
when he gets out of the lost incident.
Right, and but not even yes.
Even if it's foster care,
Yes,
there's people
but-
watching over him.
and not even just post incident, pre-incident, we're not even given
Sure,
anything.
sure.
So like,
Incident, right.
for like birth through 7 years old, who's taking care of this kid? We
Yeah.
have no inkling of an idea.
Even now, he's 16. It's not like he's old.
No, he's living on his own. He's living in an apartment by himself.
That apartment does not look nice.
No. Well, I guess
He's
that's
paying
why.
if that's a New Jersey apartment, that's
He's
one
paying
bed,
about
one bath. He's paying
$2,000.
$1,500 a month. God bless him.
More like 2,500.
Yeah, if it's an Hoboken, yeah, it's not easy out there.
But yeah, we have no idea. And I
real
think
different.
as Pete said, I think we are owed it. He's the
Yeah.
main character. He's supposed to be the one that we can relate to. You're
Sure.
supposed to connect to that main protagonist, and how else then get a backstory, which we didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you guys have it so low on your lists. So I had to throw it back.
oh,
I had to throw it back.
That's not an insult to me.
It's
I
not,
haven't
it's
gotten
not,
to it yet.
it's not.
So let's calm down.
But you said it to me, so I had to
I didn't say it to you,
them,
so you got to deflect.
I
it,
think
yeah.
I have. The way I structured it is because of things that were touched upon more that didn't get
That's fair.
resolved.
That's
Sure.
fair.
So that's
Sure.
why how I struck. That's why
Mine's
where it is.
almost the opposite.
Parents and chess pieces are going to be two things that 100% cross over to disappointments.
Sure, of course.
I think Miyu is too.
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe.
Like, I think that's like something that could.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
that's
oh, you don't even
for
see her. That's
disappointment.
fine. Yeah.
easy.
Spectre maybe.
Pete,
There's
you
a
ready
lot
for 4?
that
Yeah, I'm ready for 4, bro.
Number
4, I
Hit
had
us up.
over who were the chess pieces or the kings of soul. And so, as we touched on, like, I felt like they were going to be one of these big villains of the show that, as I was just literally looking back right now, like, I so far got through the first 12 episodes. They appear a lot as the chess pieces.
Well, now I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Kate has actually watched the first 16 episodes of VRAINS, the first Yu-Gi-Oh she's watching, and so give us some thoughts on the first episodes. For 16.
Right now, you're putting me on the spot.
Okay, you know,
I'm
not right now. After we get through we get through our threes, but like how often are the chess pieces there though?
Almost every episode.
I'll copy it.
Like I think 16, they were just in that one.
They were just in 16.
Yeah.
They're in. No, Pete, you're absolutely right. They are in a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
A lot of season 1.
A lot,
Yeah.
and
Like,
even now, I'm like questioning who are they?
Yeah,
What?
early on,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
If I was rewatching it and I was in Kate's shoes, I'd be wondering like, oh, who are these guys?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait to
Oh,
get that
absolutely.
arc.
Yeah. What the hell?
No, but
I'm,
that's
So
the thing.
I-
Like
so
I'm only
I
on
never
episode
find
3, and
out.
I'm so confused with so many different things.
well, this is probably the most because you're on 3, you're on 16. This is probably the most spoilery topic.
Yeah,
that
so
you
we
have.
apologize.
Yes, okay.
Luke,
Kate.
Luke said that to me in the chat, and I said to him, I'm trying to just read the chat and not really pay attention
Good,
to what you
good,
guys
good.
are saying.
Good.
Some
that's
main
good.
plot points we don't
As I
like
have
fully
questions,
give
I'm
away.
just
No.
Also, how we get to some of these things, they absolutely would not have an idea of how to connect it.
No. Right.
For instance, Miyu.
Who is
True.
that? Who is that?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. That's true.
That like
It's all good.
Link Sense. I don't even like. I don't know if they would have picked it up yet
Sure.
because I don't think they really talk about it that much.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So
It's just something that when you start the show and as it continues on, especially in season 1, and then you get the random scene of the kings, right? In season 3, right after
Right,
the queen's gone,
right.
you revisit this topic.
We don't even know what that was.
Right, but we assume that's the chess pieces,
I
right?
guess.
Like, you revisit that topic that there's someone in greater control of Seoul than CEO Akira Zaizu,
Right.
right? And then you just abandon it again and the show ends.
you abandoned it twice.
And I like the concept because you had all these implications with Soul right early on, but you know, Revolver and Dr. Kogami and all that stuff going on, right? I liked how there was multiple villain fronts, right? So you had your heroes. Soul was a different villain than the Knights, who were different than Lightning and his crew.
Mm-hmm.
And so eliminating that and unanswering it and never going back to that kind of ruined a piece of the show for me. Not in like a horrible way, but I thought it would have gave it a lot of creativity and just it would have made it more complex because you have this third, fourth party in the mix for whatever we're going for, whether it's I or anything else they were looking to control, and leaving that, especially when they were such an early part of the show, you know, does that have to do with, they changed directors and they kind of shifted the entire show? Then why bring it back there?
Why bring those
season
3 kings? Why have that
Like,
scene?
It's a really odd choice there, and I'm always going to wonder about that.
Yeah. No. I well said. Well said.
Well said.
You think Dylan will want to do that now?
Yes, 16.
I actually do want to say something quickly because Melinda is leaving the stream. Melinda is newly 20 years old.
Yes,
As
happy
of a
birthday.
few days
Happy
ago.
birthday.
Happy
Yeah,
belated,
happy
Melinda.
belated.
Happy belated.
I think we
Happy
wish her a
belated.
birthday
Thursday.
Thursday, but I did
Yes.
Or Tuesday.
Tuesday. Excuse me. Happy birthday! I already said it to you in the Discord, but
I
still.
said it on Twitter, but still,
Yeah.
Happy
happy
birthday.
birthday.
I
Hope
wish
it
you
was
the
a good
best.
one.
Yes. Happy birthday, Melinda.
Just on the topic of her, she did donate £3 and say, "Good morning, I'm going back to sleep."
Go back to sleep, Melinda. These videos will always
Good morning
be here
and
in the
good
morning.
night.
Yeah, morning and night.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
That one
thanks
specifically.
for coming by. We are going to go over all the donations. Thanks to everyone who has donated so far. I'm assuming there's a few people.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
we're,
none.
we're going to go, which would be completely fine. I mean that wholeheartedly. We are going to go over all the donations after we do our 3.
Great.
So then our runner-up and our number 1, which
Will
I'm
be
sure
the-
will be a lot more
yeah.
debated and talked about, we will do in the second half. And Kate will also give her first thoughts on the 16 episodes of VRAINS, and Megan can talk very briefly on the first 2 episodes.
3.
3. I didn't realize you were picking up the show. I didn't realize you were going to watch it.
Well, yeah,
Dylan,
remember
I
when
signed
she
in
left
your
the other
country
night, she
roll.
got
That's
your
right. I did get
How,
yeah, that's right.
Before we continue,
Well,
how
actually,
many
Pete signed
people
into
are
that.
signed into Dylan's country roll right now?
Oh, you got-
You can out him right now? That's how we get this shut down.
Yeah, you can't say that. Nick's even
Shout out Crunchyroll.
About a couple too many, Nick.
I would have said that either way.
I know.
He's lying.
I guess we'll keep it going. This stream is brought to you by Crunchyroll. And if you want the best subbed anime in the world, $5.99 a month membership. Do not share your membership. Crunchyroll.com. It's lit.
Hashtag not an
Do not
ad.
share.
Pete, do we want to snake
Use
this
discount
along?
code
Oh, we
Yugioh
want to snake it
everything.
along to jump to 3.
Jump to 3.
I'm in, bro.
Here.
What's your number?
Jump to 3, my friend.
How did Bowman get Earth? Okay, like this is one of the things we talked about for so many summary videos, me and you. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
How the hell did he get Earth? Was it? At first we were like, did he somehow, with his, advanced tech, did he break into Soul Tech and steal some kind of data of Earth? Did he have some kind of connection there with Spectre that he dueled him off screen, and since they're connected as partners, he got it from there? Never an answer.
Never
just when he's facing Aoi, he gets Aqua, and Earth also lights up there. How?
Yeah.
When all the other Ignis, even going against we see him get all the other ones except that one Ignis.
Yeah.
It felt really weird.
Yep.
That's like at the beginning in Infinity War, right? What even Thanos, right? When he has the first stone, right? And they say he got it from Xandar. They at least have a throwaway line about how he got it. He trashed it and he took the stone.
Right.
We didn't even get a single line how he got Earth.
Yeah. So Bowman acquiring Earth was number 9 on my list. It did make my top 10. It would have definitely been way higher if not for the Crystal Heart theory, which I think holds some weight, that there were fragments and pieces of Earth within Crystal Heart. So when Bowman, but it doesn't hold enough weight to omit it from the list.
But
and also,
say that.
it was
One line.
it was never specified. I completely agree with you. So that's why when people throw that away and say, "Oh, he got it from Crystal Heart," I don't think it's that easy to throw it away, especially because there were pieces of Earth that were put inside Go. There were parts of Earth that were in Go.
Yeah.
So to say that, oh, well, he got it from Crystal Heart. Okay, that's only portions of Earth, though. Yeah. Bowman never went to Soul Tech. He never went to Go. Yeah. He never went to, Playmaker who beat...
that opens up a whole avenue that can we put pieces of our souls and ourself inside of cards? Like, there's a lot of weird things that you're not explaining if that's the reason why.
So this would have definitely been a top 5er if not for the Crystal Heart theory, which I think is a decent theory, but I don't think it explains enough to omit it from the list entirely, so I respect you putting it that high.
Absolutely.
Some jawbreakers?
Just eat my candy, bro.
Anyway,
Nick T, what's your number 3, my friend?
So, Pete touched upon it briefly, even though I disagree on what they were.
Okay.
Those 3 orbs of light in season 3, I believe they specified that they were the shareholders of Soul. But one, why were they? What was the significance of them being represented in 3 red, blue, and yellow orbs of light?
The Egyptian god colors.
What was the significance of the shareholders to begin with?
Right. Why even bring them in?
Why even bring them in? Because it ended up opening a whole can of worms of like, okay, so if the shareholders are involved, then the company must be making certain decisions that will affect the shareholders. What decisions will the company be making? And in the end, the company made no decisions. So I takes over, and that is it.
Right.
So the company, the shareholders didn't get a decision. They didn't get informed. They didn't get brought up again.
Even after Ai's defeat, okay, so Queen is somehow out of her role, and now Akira's the CEO. We didn't even get to see the interaction of him being promoted.
You would think, maybe, okay, Ai defeats Queen. Queen is stepping down, maybe. We don't see the shareholders talk about that with Akira saying, hey, listen, Queen's stepping down for reason X, Y, or Z.
Or she's going to be stuck in her coma.
Right. So what's happening? But no, we don't get that. It's assumed Ai's taking over the company. So where
or
are the shareholders
taking over the company?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So where are those shareholders? Where are those orbs of light specifically? And what is the obviously the significance? I believe is the Egyptian gods. But what is the significance of that related to the shareholders? We got nothing.
Why even introduce them? See, I put them together with the chess pieces and Soul Tech corporate in general.
Right. Yeah, which I get, and I definitely respect it. In my mind, they're very separate because you would have like corporate administration, CEOs, CFOs,
sure,
are chess pieces, whereas
shareholders, those are
the people investing in the company.
Absolutely.
And in part,
regardless, it seems no matter what,
being affected by the company.
And I completely understand why you do separate them. I guess I put them together because they're the kings, so it's that chess piece wordplay. Regardless, though, whenever it came to Soul Tech uppers, they just didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything.
I mean, what a waste of potential.
And I'll get, as you'll see further in my list, I get more into the chess pieces, but to me, there's a distinction in my mind, and the shareholders is question number 3 for me, because as we had already abandoned our chess piece question, why bring in the shareholders in the same way, and only to abandon those as well?
I completely agree. Cal, what's your number 3, my
Alright,
friend?
so
I'm excited for this.
Going right off that one.
Let's go, baby.
Number
Let's go.
3 is the chess pieces.
Wow.
And
There we go.
I had the chess pieces a little higher than you guys, only because.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I looked at him
I
and
know,
Dylan,
yeah.
and that was only because this is something that lingered right from the beginning of the show. So to me, it was like they brought this out, and like right away, it was the chess pieces. Those are the heads of soul. You know, the guys behind everything that goes on there, and then they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where did they go? What did they do? Who are they? Like, there's no information on anything about them whatsoever. So to me, that's why I had it up higher than 5 or 4. I had it at 3.
Sure.
But in all, like, you guys, even like Dylan made a video on who the bishop was, and we all thought like, well, whoever was in that role that Akira was originally in, that was the pawn. I think we all made that comparison when we had like the summaries. It was like, okay, whoever's in that position is just doing what they're told because they're the pawn. We were trying to put all the pieces together. And then all of a sudden, there are no chess pieces. They're just gone.
Right.
And there's no reference to them. There's really no reference to the uppers in Soul either.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like, there's nothing like, after Queen, it's just, oh, I took over because he beat Queen in that duel, so
Yeah.
the whole company is now his.
Right.
I don't know. It's just, it left so much open there.
Sure.
No, I think that's
So-
completely fair.
I do want to bring one comment because it's very relevant to our conversation.
Sure, of course,
now.
yeah.
Miguel Jimenez said you have to consider that the show changes the director, so concepts introduced during the first arc of Reigns were scrapped, which I totally agree
Episode
with.
13 is where the change happened.
Totally
Yeah.
agree with and get. But if I say we're the director stepping up into the new position, I would try to continue that. I
Yeah.
think, in
Or
order to
weave it
keep-
out.
or at least weave it out
Yeah.
rather than cut it entirely. Because as a viewer, I think that looks sloppy.
Yeah.
So I would take that into
Sure,
mind as a director.
I completely agree.
So I agree with what you're saying, and I definitely
Yeah.
do take that into mind. But I think
Absolutely.
the second director, that's a misstep in scrapping it entirely.
Yeah, and I do agree with, I understand what Miguel's saying.
Yeah,
I agree
100%.
With, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
because I
you as
agree
well.
that definitely
Because
has a part
it's
in
definitely a reason, but not necessarily an excuse in my eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially if the new director saw the idea, like maybe, like 5 or 6
Well,
episodes
he definitely
ahead.
did because he said, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stick with this chess piece theme, I'm going to introduce a girl named Queen who obviously fits that chess piece motif,
Right.
and she's going to become like a minor villain in the show. So it's not even like they tease that chess piece.
And then just
Yeah.
throw the rest away.
Right.
I mean...
But I get, so thank you for bringing
Yeah.
it up, because that definitely is a
Oh,
reason
definitely.
for it.
Definitely.
So you're not wrong. I just think it's not the excuse to
Yeah.
scrap it sloppily.
I think he liked the chess piece idea, but probably didn't like the way they did, like, it was supposed, like, the way he was going to do it.
Sure.
So he was kind of like, how do I keep the same feel, but not do it the way they did? And that's how Queen became who Queen was.
Yeah. Now, Pete, I just saw when he put his phone on the table. You're watching a chess piece scene.
Yeah. So they first showed all 6 of them
It's a
in
lot.
episode 1.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like 7 minutes in. You have
Yeah.
the
Oh,
shot.
it's
okay,
all
it's
of them
okay.
in
You
episode
guys
You have
one.
all the shot of them, then they all fade away, and I think it was just the king
Oh,
piece was
no, it was
left.
the bishop that talked to him.
And that was the only one that's
Yeah.
left. And then
Kudos.
for the rest of, I've gone through like about 13, 14, you have 3 of
Yeah,
them
it's
show
only
up.
3 of them.
So that shot was just quick.
So even when the director changed, though, he's still... Also, the director, I'm almost positive is different than the writer. The main writer didn't change. The director, I'm pretty sure, is responsible for, like, the animation, which looked a lot better.
Sure.
The storyboarding, which looked better, and just seemed
But
to...
I'm sure the director probably has final say in certain
I'm sure he does.
Where
I'm
he's
sure
like,
he
hey,
does.
writer, I don't like this. You're getting rid of it.
Sure, but of
Very
course the
good.
writer is Shin Yoshida, who is a very veteran Yu-Gi-Oh writer. And not only is he a very veteran writer in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yes.
but Shin Yoshida is a friend. And
I
so
was
this
at dinner with him.
the dinner on the Tokyo skyline was great. And this is really going to be painful for me to say. It's painful every video for me to say. Because again, he is a friend.
Wait,
What?
real quick.
Yeah, you're
I have
good.
2 things.
Sure.
One, my brother was actually tuning in. He said him and his friend Colton say hello. What's up, Andrew?
How you doing,
Nice to
Andrew?
meet you.
How you doing, my friend?
Andrew!
So for all of you in the Discord who have spoken about my brother, building Gunpla and liking Gundam, this is the one, Andrew, right there, the one commenting. He's the best,
He's a good
Wait,
guy.
where did he even comment?
right there.
What'd you do there?
But what's up, dude?
Andrew,
Second-
it's been like 5 years.
Speaking of the Shin Yoshida thing, I had to bring up this comment that Taker Napper said, and he
Yeah.
said, Dylan X Yoshida fanfic win. Or
Never.
roughly that. I wrote a shortened version of that in my notes.
Never.
But I'm pretty
take
sure he
an
said
apper.
when.
Shin is a friend.
She knew she did.
But shouldn't be more than a friend.
You're gonna have to read the fanfic to find out. My number 3, before we get into some donations, is Yusaku's parents. I stick with the theme of Yusaku. I think this is definitely a top 3 unanswered question, and this is going to be another thing that crosses over as a disappointment. You know, when you're writing a main character, it's important to try to get the audience to relate to the main character and make you kind of feel bad for him, if that's the route you're going for. Yeah. And Yusaku is a tragic character. He is a character that you're supposed to make feel bad for. Absolutely. So even if you have a quick line or an episode where it's shown that when he got back from the Lost Incident, very similar to Homura, his parents were killed somehow.
Yep.
It'd be strange. It would be kind of weird, similar to Homura's instance. But if you chalk it up to a car accident, that was the theme with the show. I mean, how many people died in car accidents? So let's just do that.
Every 5 episodes, we're like, well, we lost another 2 to a car accident.
Yeah, that's basically what happened in that was season 2, car accidents. And so
I don't hate it.
Yeah, no, I didn't hate it. It's realistic. So Yusaku's parents not being shown, not being discussed. Even if you don't want to use the word parents, you want to use the word guardians, I'm fine with that. Family. To not show any of that, to omit all of that, is a very burning question that I have. And
Burning Gundam, sorry.
Come here. That's beautiful. Wow.
That was good.
Sorry.
I'm sure Bam's if Bam's watching, he's happy. And that was a big unanswered question. Who were his parents? Who took care of him his entire life? That's a huge issue for me.
Absolutely.
So issue and question that I wish we got.
Agreed.
So those are our 3, and we are going to get into our top 2, each of our top unanswered question and our runner-up. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying. Thank you to everyone who has come by on this Friday evening, Saturday morning, wherever you are around the world. If you want to talk, so Kate started watching VRAINS.
Yes.
You were through 16 episodes.
16. I think I'm halfway through the 16th episode.
Okay, and you've never watched a Yu-Gi-Oh before.
Never watched Yugi before.
You never watched Yu-Gi before. Well, that's true too.
I've never watched Yu-Gi-Oh before, so there's a lot of it that it's a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within the first couple episodes, the link summoning was very confusing.
Was it very slow?
It was slow, but also it was very slow, and then you see the change when you had the switch in the producer or the director or whatever after 13.
So you noticed that
the
change.
beginning when it took forever.
Oh my god! If you look back,
it's
tough to get through those early episodes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so that's not just me being bored with it.
No,
it's very, very difficult to get through it.
What's funny about that though is I feel like in season 3, Ai's link summoning is sort of as much of a joke it is. It's an homage to how long it fucking took in season 1.
How long it
absolutely.
Where he's
took
his
chant.
That was in the Zizen duel.
Yeah.
which I didn't think of before. But now
That's
realizing it's,
probably true,
it's definitely an homage. Where it's like, that was long as hell.
Because Robapi even tells him to
Like,
just
you're
stop
taking
and
too long.
just finish the chant.
Yeah, you're probably right, honestly.
I'm sorry, but yes.
He's doing the chant, and I think one of the final episodes when he gets the arrival, and he couldn't come up with 6 words.
Yeah.
That was another one.
So overall, are you enjoying it? Honestly.
Overall, yes, I'm enjoying it. I really, really enjoyed the Playmaker Revolver duel. That was really
That was the one that hooked him.
Yeah.
That was very good.
That's what really got
That's
me.
my boy.
That's what really got me into it. Where I was like, wow, this is actually a really good show because
if you watch it from the right perspective, you realize Revolver's the hero.
He is the hero.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him. Who your favorite character in the show so far?
So far.
So far, it's very early. That probably will change. It changed for me. Just had to pick one.
I would have to say Playmaker right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Who'd you have early on?
Through 16 episodes, it probably was Playmaker because he was I feel like the only one that really got so much focus.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Really
There hasn't been a non-Playmaker duel yet through 16 episodes.
Which is crazy. Then once we get to season 3, he has 1 duel.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's all been
It
Playmaker
changes.
versus everybody
It gets
else.
real different. All right.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. And
Yes, yeah.
maybe one day you'll Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 you're planning to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You'll be on for
I'll
that.
watch that, while it comes out and everything.
Perfect. That's exciting. All right. Do we want to read some donations?
Like I was gonna say though, I wish I watched anime before this because it's so confusing.
Oh, to read
It's
and
not even just that. Like even everything. Like Kate obviously had the background of like watching different shows and like things that she did.
Yeah.
Going into this, like I watched it as like my first thing, and I'm just like,
It's a little. It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's a lot
There's
to
certain
handle.
tropes that
and,
like,
like-
are like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Let's
this
put it
is-
as like when
yeah.
I was in my office at work, like I was getting roasted the entire time because this one kid was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Nothing."
You have to be
you have to
faithful
embrace
to
it.
your-
Yeah,
you have to
exactly.
embrace
I am,
just
but
gotta
it's just
jump
like
into
it's
it.
crazy for me because it was something that like my brother had always been into, like things I'd always watch people like be into, but like never be into, and like now I'm trying.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS is a first anime. I feel
It's
like
tough.
it's very
If you watch
It's
Duel
very-
Masters or
it-
GX
It's a
first,
lot to
this would be
handle.
an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
There's
that's
a
tough.
lot
That's
is
very
going
tough.
on in it, and it's very hard
the
to
first one I
follow.
got.
I'm trying.
It's
No,
very
I am.
hard to follow the duels right off the bat.
Yes.
To kind of figure out
The
what's
thing that I
going
like
on
though
with
is
it.
like I guess because like I always like watching like different like colors like things happen. I don't know if it's because of ADHD or not,
No,
but like
right.
I like watching it because I'm like boom 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 boom
Yeah.
boom.
Oh, that's a good point. It's never.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really because
There's
it's
never-
animated. There's
yeah.
constant motion.
It's
There's never
it's
really a
something
dull
that like
moment.
I
It
can
keeps your
focus on.
focus,
Yeah, literally, it's something
Mm.
that keeps my focus, and I'm like, okay, like even though it's in a different language, I'm like, okay, like I like this, like it's keeping my brain like going, it's keeping it like paying attention. It's not like a show where like you know what's gonna happen, like for example, like SpongeBob or
Office.
something.
Sure.
The Office,
Yeah.
SpongeBob. I love The Office to death, so let's not hate on The Office.
Oh, I'm not hating on The Office. I think The Office is
I was gonna say
great.
Kate will literally beat your ass.
Oh,
but
I think it's
let's
a
not go there.
magnificently
My-
written show.
But with SpongeBob, for example, like how it's an animated
You know what's
cartoon,
going
like
on.
it's like you always know what's gonna happen, you always know what's going on, and then it's like something that your brain is like you're listening, but you're not paying attention.
right.
Now, I want to talk to you about the E minor scene.
Yeah, E minor.
Yeah, E minor. All right, yeah.
Okay.
Now, do you think if Patrick stayed awake for that rendition, which there is a YouTube video where he stayed awake for that rendition, would that have changed the course of SpongeBob forever? Because then
Forever.
keep in mind, Patrick and SpongeBob never would have became friends again.
Nope.
True. You
I
also have
plead
to,
the fifth.
you have to also realize that Patrick is an idiot.
Give Dylan one of the lemon warheads and tell him just focus
But
on
also,
that.
when you're talking about the colors moving, my mind immediately went to Game of Thrones and watching like a very dimly lit scene for about 35 minutes, and like only going by what you're hearing, and it's like
Are you talking about the war scene
most
in
of
the
them.
last season?
Or that
It was way too dark.
The
It
all
was
of
a
Ramsey's
fight
jail
at
scenes.
night.
Yeah,
That's what it was supposed to
Right.
be.
I didn't mind it,
Nice.
but
Oh, I
then when
didn't
you see
either.
the lighting in other portions when it's still nighttime, it's like it just doesn't make sense.
yeah, me neither. But I'm getting
Channel
like
follow,
that's
correct?
completely opposite of like something like any
Yeah.
anime where it's like colors are moving
and it's
constantly.
light and everything.
And it's
yeah.
I'm
bright,
trying.
constantly moving colors. It's like,
Absolutely.
oh, Game of Thrones, like Ramsey's jail. You're like,
Yeah.
I can't see anything, but I can hear it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
All
fair.
right.
That's
Well,
fair.
I'm glad you guys are,
Yeah,
are
so that- I
enjoying
understand
it.
that.
That's
Basically,
awesome.
long story short is any question I have, I'm gonna text Kate instead of you guys to not annoy any of you.
That's fine.
I don't get
You
annoyed.
can ask.
And then I'll be
If you
like,
text me, I'll
I
probably-
don't
And
know
then
the
Kate's gonna be
answer.
like,
Text me.
"Hey." Let Pete know, and then you get back to me
Wow.
with that answer.
Exactly.
It's amazing. All right, so
Whoa.
read some comments. We'll
All
read
right.
some comments.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna
some
copy-
Jonos.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a recent.
I noticed it's the stapler in Jello.
We can start at the beginning.
No, I'm going to, but I'm just copying
call her
and pasting
dad.
that one now, so I don't miss it.
him.
There's no time to clean the ceilings during the day.
Is that the sticker you have?
No.
Wait, what sticker do we have?
No, Calver's talking about a podcast.
Okay, so Underdeal88 donated $2 and said, "You coming to dinner tonight?"
Yes, mother.
Ooh.
Oh,
What's
yes,
that?
Sammy, I will message you on Discord. I do not think I will be able to make it, unfortunately. Sammy is actually moving
Oh,
under deal, and moving pretty far. I don't want to. Well, yeah, I mean East Coast to the south,
wow.
Okay.
but
Okay.
the
Like
south
south, like
south
where?
central.
Okay. Okay.
Like a different country? Or
No, like
different
a
state.
different state. So it's a far move.
In the
I-
south.
I don't
I
want
think
to
you're
play any
saying South
locations.
Central. That makes me think of South
No,
America.
no. And actually, she invited me to get some ramen
Oh,
with her
that's
and a
so
bunch of
nice.
friends tomorrow night. Due to my work, I do not think I'll be able to make it. But Sammy, I'm definitely going to message you on Discord.
Aw.
But thank you. I mean, you're awesome.
I wish you a safe move, and I
Yeah.
hope everything
Yeah.
goes well.
Yes,
Your
absolutely.
Your new place of
Absolutely.
I was gonna say
Safe
moving
travels.
sucks. I'm
Yeah.
not even moving out of my house. I'm just getting my room redone and it sucks. So
Yeah,
good luck.
moving's
honestly.
a lot. Yeah, moving's a
Moving's
lot.
big.
And I will definitely message you on Discord, Sammy.
John Roy donated $5 and said, Not only I'm disappointed
With Aoi.
Aoi, not with Miyu. At the ending, we didn't get Link 6 Firewall Dragon, never get Borload. Link 5 and 6 Dragon anytime soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
His pen jumped out of his hand because he was so excited.
No, I would. Yeah, I was. Thank you, John, for the donation. Yeah, you know, it always sucks. There's always some monsters or upgrades that you wish you saw that you didn't see. That
I mean, I was pretty pumped at that last card the Revolver gave Yusaku, and how it was an
Furious
anti-judgment
Dragon.
arrows card.
Love that moment.
I think that was a pretty good way to kind of end Revolvers.
Yeah, but it would have been cool to see like a Link 6 Firewall.
Yeah,
like a Dark Fluid upgrade.
I thought we were going to get something like that.
Me too.
But also seeing Miyu more. Yeah. Definitely even a final scene there of she was with Aoi at the truck. In the just in the yard, in the courtyard.
Or she was
that
like,
would have been fine.
She was like working as like a waitress alongside Jin at the end.
Anything.
Yeah.
Even a line, a mention that she's doing good. I mean, the last time she's mentioned is in the Zaizen and Idol.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're writing a show, these are things that like obviously have to cross your mind.
Yeah.
Like they must have made the conscious decision. Okay, we're not going to mention Miyu at the end.
Right, because otherwise, the simplest thing, like just like you mentioned, her being a waitress at the stand, the easiest thing.
That's
possible.
the second easiest. The easiest thing besides
She
that
comes with Aoi.
is it's not even
Waitressing is
animating
not
her.
the easiest.
Just giving Aoi's voice actress a line. Yeah, just say this. Oh, Miyu is doing well. I just got back from visiting her.
Right.
And then Shoichi can say, oh, you've been visiting her a lot. That's great. And then we know, okay, so they're bonding. They're becoming friends. But to just omit her, I don't know. It just seems silly.
Yes.
Very
Agreed.
silly.
Right.
Agreed.
But thank you, John.
Next one. Nicholas Horton donated £5 and said, I got big 5 vibes from the chess pieces and that they would play a bigger part in the following season. I only
Because they're all
enunciated it
caps.
because they're all capitals, so I feel like it should be exciting.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you have the 5 chess pieces. The pawn, I don't think was ever shown.
Mm-hmm.
Pawn was the Kira. I like that theory. So yeah, the big 5 obviously was an antagonistic group in Duel Monsters.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely understand that
Well,
vibe
they're,
because they were CEOs.
CEOs of Kaiba Corp.
Yes, they were like.
I love that arc.
Yeah, it was a fun arc, and well, the virtual world arc I liked. I didn't
Yes.
no. The Noah's virtual world I wasn't a fan of. The season 3.
Gotcha.
It was the one where they're playing the game, for like 5 episodes. The mini arc. I can't remember the name of it. But between when Pegasus is defeated and when Battle City starts, it's a filler arc. I
Is
can't
that the one
remember.
where
The filler
there is
arc.
the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon fuses with
Yes, that's the one.
That's beautiful.
That's
that one I
that's the
love.
mini arc that I don't really mind. But yeah,
Was
Nicholas.
that who's the card there?
Blackluster Soldier.
Blackluster Soldier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
That's
Thank you,
I
Nicholas.
actually had
yes,
that.
it's a great card. I love it.
This you haven't gotten there yet.
Also, shout out Blackluster Soldier because when we were at the art show, there was an original. What's his name? The artist,
First season.
Oh.
the Yu-Gi-Oh artist at the art show.
Oh,
The
Picasso.
original.
Oh, Takahashi.
There's an
Yeah.
original Takahashi piece of Blackluster Soldier,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Shout out Takahashi.
I really wish the chess pieces were used more. It's just
Yep.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so Sakaki Chrono donated $5 and said, have you ever wondered what Brave Max's skill was? Maybe it was something so overpowered that Playmaker wouldn't be able to overcome it for once with a face.
Well,
That
I
was
think
good.
it's
That was
great animation. Sakaki, thank you for the donation. I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe it was the auto win skill. So this was a skill that was theorized by many people in Link VRAINS. That there would be one descendant, kind of akin to Excalibur, the sword. There would be one descendant that would be able to acquire this skill, and this skill basically was an auto win. You say, I'm using my skill, auto win, you get the win. That's what I believe Brave Max's skill was, and I think the writers knew that it would be very hard to implement that and make it kind of like an on-your-edge style duel because he had the auto win skill, and that's the reason we just never saw Brave Max down the road. But thank you for the donation, Sakaki.
That was beautiful.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
we're just gonna pretend that wasn't a load of bullshit that you just said. That's
I
what
was
we're
gonna say
pretend.
I'm not even touching it. I thought it was perfect.
Okay.
I don't know, I thought it was good.
Was that very odd?
That was all improv, by the way. That was,
Should I
He's
do the next
very
one?
brave,
Yeah.
Max. That's his skill.
Okay, so next, Dono.
Don't know.
Dono.
no.
Rex Kendrick said, donated 10,000 Colombian pesos.
Wow.
Very nice.
I, human,
Avatar.
No, I was making sure I said I right. I was
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for one of you to
No,
correct
you're good.
me.
You're good.
I knew an Avatar was based on Yusaku memories of his father.
Yeah, I like that. You know.
I would
It's
like
cool.
if they elaborated on that. That'd be perfect because I think that would be a good plot point.
That would have been like amazing if like we knew Yusaku's
Great
parents
tie into
passed away, and then like, yeah, and that's the route they went. I like that a lot. That's
Right, that would
really
be cool. Like Yusaku
Yeah.
sees Ai's human avatar form for the first time and is just shocked because it looks like his dad.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been really cool.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, thank you, Rex, for the donation.
I think it
and
was
for-
just the way
Bum-bum.
he saw himself of like, hey, if I can make myself in a human form, this is what I would look
Yeah,
like.
I think-
He
I
would
think
make
that's
himself
true.
hot. Is really what it comes down to.
Again, it's a famous comment.
It's a very famous comment.
Very famous
If you
comment.
didn't want to sleep with I before,
You can't
have
do it
no
now.
right to want to sleep with him now.
Exactly.
I stand by that.
My land.
That's one of my favorite
That's an
tweets.
important distinction.
That's one of my favorite tweets.
Okay.
Love that tweet. If we're making a top 5
Am I gonna
tweets of Reigns,
Are we just gonna
that's number
move
1.
on?
That's
Yeah.
not wrong.
No, you can go.
You can go.
You
You're
can
right.
go. Oh, you're good.
No. Anonymous Anime Lover donated $60.
Oh,
wow.
Ooh,
And
anonymous.
Wow.
Hi, Dylan P, Nikki T. Welcome
Wow.
back, Calibro and Megan. Hello, new girl. Sorry, don't know your name.
It's Kate.
It's
My
Kate.
theory: Yusaku's whereabouts in the 3 months after dueling I. My opinion jumped to the dark side of the dimensions. Met Adam instead of I. Atem instead of I.
Ooh.
Corrected me a little late.
I'm sorry.
It's alright, bro. Fuck, that is deep.
Anonymous, thank you.
I like that.
This
You
is
do
Kate, by the
that.
way. Anonymous, one of
You
the
did.
best people that
I've
support me.
I've watched a few streams where.
Yeah,
Where you
she
just like dropped
um,
your pen and go.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Those are
the-
classic cut-ups.
The
Before
best reactions.
Before the
She's
last stream I
amazing.
did,
Yeah.
the one stream I did after Chicago, that was where she was just like, boom, boom.
No,
boom,
she.
boom.
I mean, she's
She's the
insane.
MVP.
Yeah, no, she's the
Yeah.
best. Thank you so much. That is a massive donation. Thank you so much, Anonymous. As for the comment, there have been a lot of theories that have come out that like the Duel Links world, you know, the mobile app, Dark Side of Dimensions, VRAINS, it's all going to somehow be connected and it's all going to somehow come together in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7. I think the theories are interesting. I don't know if I necessarily believe them, but I think there is there are some overlaps with the 3 pieces of media. So to say that maybe like, I is in the Dark Side of Dimensions universe, I could definitely believe that.
It's not out of the realm of
No, it's
possibility.
definitely not. I like that. That's a pretty good theory.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. So thank you, Anonymous. That's I like that. That's good. That'd be cool.
All right. So David Enos donated $4.99.
Thank you, Davis.
Said, what happened to the new dual discs in season 1 having their own AI? Remember I talking to Blue Angel's Eye because
Wow.
Yusaku had an older gen of dual discs, bruh. He didn't say bruh. I added that myself.
That's right.
He's so right.
You know what people also commented that I don't remember? Apparently Akira approached Blood Shepherd or Blood Shepherd approached Akira and was like, Soul Tech is trying to create a divine Ignis or like their own ultimate Ignis. Do you guys remember that
I
line?
don't remember that. I'll have to search.
I don't remember that
I definitely
either.
remember the outdated dual disc thing.
I remember that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
they
that's
did
good,
abandon,
Davis.
yeah, 'cause
They-
Not
You don't
once,
remember the donation?
maybe like
No.
halfway through the season, did they bring up the new AI in dual discs?
yes. Yeah.
In new dual discs.
No, that's good. I forgot about
Wow.
that.
Yeah,
And
'cause
had
he
the
made
old
a-
dual disc.
But you know what? Again, those were developed by who?
The old director.
No, Soul Technologies.
Oh, you mean, oh yeah.
Like in the show,
Yes.
So like, I just feel like everything ties back to Soul Tech just not being.
Soul Tech
Yeah.
probably season 1 had such an importance that was supposed to go so far, and the new director was like, nah.
Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Because really, almost everything ends up tying
Well, yeah,
back to
because
Soul.
Naoki made a huge deal about the fact that he had the old tools. Like, didn't he mention, like, oh, are you a fan of Playmaker? Is that why you have that? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, you made fun of
maybe.
him being in the duel club and saying
Yeah.
that you're going to be inadequate, basically, with something
Yeah.
like that.
What a fucking dick.
And he gives him, like, a dummy deck when he
Yeah.
wants to see his deck.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
right.
yeah.
That's a good early scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he first meets Aoi.
Yeah.
Damn, I just thought of another unanswered question that absolutely should have made my top 10.
Did it make any of our lists?
What?
Did it make any of our lists?
No, and it's...
So that you can bring it up.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up right now. did Go actually know the identity of Yusaku? Did Go actually know that Yusaku was Playmaker? Remember at the beginning of the Gnome duel, he said, if Gnome defeats me, I'm going to tell everyone who Playmaker is. And he had that scene with Yusaku in the hospital where he walked past him and he kind of did a double take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did Go know who... That never gets touched
Never
on
gets
again.
touched on ever.
Damn, that's one that I...
That's a good one,
Damn,
though.
I'm
It
annoyed,
is.
but that
That is
definitely
true.
should have been a top 10er. I definitely should have.
You know what I love too? That it's obviously not unanswered, but that whole season 1 dynamic of like Revolver trying to figure out who Playmaker is and Playmaker trying to figure out who Revolver is.
Yeah, and
That's
those
like,
little
remember him
hints.
standing on the cliff?
Yeah,
like his
yeah,
house
yeah.
is in the distance. Like I miss that dynamic.
And
that they
Kusanagi's
had
like,
going
I
on.
serve him every day. Like, he comes down every
Man,
day
like
to the
that-
truck.
That stuff was great to be like, man, I wonder who it is.
Yep,
Yeah, I miss that, man.
yep.
Oh my god.
So, we are going to get back. Well, we'll read 2 more donations, and then we're going to get to our top 2. We'll read 2 more.
Okay.
We'll get to our top 2. We'll finish them off, and then we'll wrap things up.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We got an Uncle Wayne chant going, by the way.
Yeah.
Is he on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we're
He
good.
said Dylan quit the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Dylan, why'd you
What the
quit?
fuck?
Oh, well, 2 donations, and then
That's
we'll,
alright.
we'll call it.
And
Alec?
it was
Okay.
for Uncle Wayne in the year, so that's where that came
Silent? No, I'm kidding. Alex Vermees donated $5 and said, retrospective video idea. All the foreshadowing in the show that I was going to be an antagonist from the first episode of Foss the Cyber... Why you like that name, bro?
I like that, Alex. Thank you for the donation. I think that would be a pretty cool retrospective video because there were definitely some...
Were there signs? There probably were
Well,
signs.
that Faust duel I always thought was kind of strange. You had the him spying on Yusaku before
Right.
Yusaku caught him through the security
And
cameras. Lines up with what he says at the end where he was following him as basically his whole life. And then, of course, the one scene, I just rewatched it because it was on my... What was it? It was on my unanswered questions. Oh, right. It had to do with the spy at Soltech. Right after the spy of Sol Technologies, the Hanoi spy at Soltech gets revealed. That's when I has that famous scene where he's like, I'm starting to hate humans too.
Of course.
I mean, I watched that scene again. I'm like, damn, I got chills again.
It's such a good
That's
scene.
one of the best scenes of the
Just
show.
the look Revolver gives
Yeah.
him is just
And
great.
he says, I'll let you guys be, or good luck with that, and he walks
Right.
away.
And also that
Great
I
scene.
felt like
there was foreshadowing, Alex.
Yeah, I always felt like there was foreshadowing in the scene where he straight up eats the first night of Hanoi there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty sinister. Where like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's supposed to be a good guy helping our protagonist, eats the opponent.
I mean,
Yeah.
even thinking about it now, right? That we have the information that he's been watching Yusaku since the beginning.
Right.
Doesn't that kind of lessens what I was?
Oh, yeah.
Because he set everything up. He caused him to get the cyber deck. He pushed him towards the Knights of Hanoi so I himself could get answers. Like,
Well, and
he
I
fed
knew
into Yusaku's rage.
I knew that he would not be able to defeat the Knights of Hanoi without Yusaku, and that's why he really just turned Yusaku on the night. Yeah, it's very fascinating. I think it really
Money.
makes him a more intricate villain when you really look back at it. But thank you, Alex, for the donation. We'll do one more, and then we'll go to our top 2.
So Bam donated $5.
Oh, Brian is here. That's awesome.
Bam.
Thank you, Bam.
Damn.
And said, so the notification when I was running with my dog and I told him to Excel Synchro to be able to watch the stream, I was also listening to Clear Mind.
That's amazing. Masaki
That's
Endo,
fantastic,
great guy.
yeah.
Bring him for Yu-Gi-Oh! 7. Bam, we're glad you're here, man. We hope you're enjoying. Thank you, as always, for coming by. You're
Yes.
an amazing human being. All right, our final 2
Let's get
top
it.
unanswered questions of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. Then we will get back to donations. Thank you, everyone who has donated thus far. It means the world. Do we want to call Uncle Wayne?
Are we calling Uncle Wayne?
I feel like we should.
There's literally a chant
there's
going on in the chat.
seriously
Please just call
so
him.
much
Apparently,
going on.
Uncle Wayne
Literally, I'll
always reads
time
you
it.
bedtime stories.
That is-
I'll time it. We'll give Uncle Wayne. You have 1 minute.
we're giving Uncle Wayne 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
All right, let's see. Hopefully he answers.
He said he
No,
always
he'll
he's very
answer.
active.
He is
That's what he
here.
said.
He said Uncle Wayne
60 seconds
always
and the
picks
clock
up.
starts.
As soon as he picks
Now.
up. Uncle Wayne.
Uncle Wayne.
You've got a minute. What's going on?
How you guys doing? You guys, whoa! I wasn't expecting you guys to call. I was just I was just playing around with my magic 8-ball, asking it a question. It said, ask again later. I was like, all right, you're the boss.
Well, it is the boss.
What question were you asking?
I was like, will I buy a new tie tomorrow?
Ah.
A new tie.
Do you think you might?
Oh, we'll see.
I don't think you need a
Get a new
magic
tie.
8-balls
Literally buy a new
confirmation.
tie.
To
Get
get
one
a
with
new tie.
penguins.
Dylan, when's the last time you got a nice smooch on the cheek?
From who?
I don't know, anyone.
It's been a while.
I don't know. Toll booth worker?
From a toll booth
A toll booth worker has never smooched me on
They're
the
gonna
cheek.
get out of the toll booth?
No,
It's
reach
over.
over. Face.
They reach over.
It's a far distance, farther than you think.
Well, you gotta
It is
lean in
farther
too,
than
you
you
know.
They're climbing
Yeah,
Dylan
yeah,
like a
You gotta
tree.
have extra stretchy lips.
Ew.
That's a good point.
Oh my god.
Uncle
like
Wayne
that.
is creative.
That was a villain in SpongeBob. Speaking of SpongeBob, remember?
Yes.
When you climb in the tower for the martial
Yeah.
arts
I
tournament?
don't watch cartoons. I only watch the news and things that make me cry.
Like what?
Oh, videos of dogs falling off a cliff.
So
All right,
like,
Uncle
so
Wayne,
like,
that's it. We're gonna have to go
are
now.
you
We're
into
at-
Marley and Me, Uncle Wayne?
Pardon me?
Are you into Marley and Me?
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, I bought the director's cut.
What happens in the director's cut that's different from the original?
Oh, the dog dies in every scene.
Wow, that sounds really dark, Uncle Wayne.
Wow.
All right, we're almost
Dylan,
at 2
Dylan.
minutes, Uncle Wayne. We have to go now.
Hey, wait, your Aunt Patricia wants to talk to you.
All right, let her come on and say hi.
Hello.
Hey, Aunt Patricia, how are you?
Just hang up. Just hang up.
I snorted.
Just hang up. Just hang up the phone.
All right,
Oh.
I snorted. I hate
And that's
snorting.
Uncle Wayne, everyone.
Uncle Wayne,
This is what you
Thank you, Uncle Wayne, Aunt Patricia.
The dog dies in every scene.
Oh my god.
The dog just dies every scene. Meh.
Oh, that
Thanks.
poor dog.
Thanks for calling in, Uncle Wayne.
I am Ghost Nation.
I love you,
am.
Uncle Wayne.
I snorted.
That was amazing.
So, anyway.
That was a nice.
I'm so glad I asked him that question.
Pete.
I was genuinely curious.
Whew.
Pete, would you like to,
We're not going to address that he said he watches dogs that fall off cliffs. We're not going to address that.
No, we're gonna let that
It's a
go.
mix of laughter and actual
Is this why you
tears.
haven't seen your uncle in 3 years?
I have a very distant relationship with my uncle.
On a completely unrelated
Holy
note,
shit.
everyone should watch the podcast Talking
Talking
Third. And Thursdays, typically at 8 o'clock, starring
I'm sorry.
the voice actor
Voice
Barrett
actor
Letty.
Barrett Letty.
He's very talented.
Thank you,
Again,
plugs.
completely unrelated to Uncle Wayne, but he's a very talented
Always with the
individual.
plugs.
Follow them
Plugs.
on Instagram, talking with no G _ third.
Underscore third.
Very, very good
I'm not
people.
reading another. We're taking a break right now.
Yeah, we're taking a break.
Want me to do
Yeah,
number
you're
two?
But again,
Yeah.
thank you, Uncle Wayne.
Thank you,
Oh
Uncle
my
Wayne.
Get us back on.
Yeah,
the-
we're getting on
All
track.
right.
I don't
Pete,
It's
take
okay.
it away.
Number
two.
number two for me is probably a lot of people's number ones. What happened to I? Right? You get the whole beautiful death scene that happens there. Build up of the character through 120 episodes. His turn to an antagonist. Everything that happens. You think he dies, and then the last shot of the entire show is him going, huh?
Huh?
And is he alive inside the VRAINS? Is that a different net? Some people have theorized, is that another universe, dimension
Is
that he's
it
in?
the afterlife?
Who knows? Is it similar to a mirror link VRAINS thing? Right?
Yeah,
no
I-
idea.
I always felt that it was almost a fourth wall break, where that was us. That was the universe we live in.
That's an interest. Jay Bex, who's a great guy in the community, very intelligent. He said the same thing. He's like, "What if that's I waking up in like our
Right, because
systems?"
it's not like we don't see that happening in another universe. We see a black screen with data, like with the circuits running
It's
through it,
him
and
like
his
waking
eye.
up in our computer.
Exactly.
And
Or,
it's how he started the show, and it's how he ends the show.
Yeah.
And to me, if that's the last shot of the show, it has to tie in somewhere into 7 or something.
Well, no, you know what it is.
Who ends a show like that on that big of a cliffhanger?
I'm not
Dylan's
listening.
Dylan's favorite theory. that was I running a simulation.
That Queen.
So he
Queen
just
was
finished-
Revolver's mom.
That nothing actually
That
happened.
whole thing was a simulation that I
Tommy.
was living through to see what he should do next.
I mean, that would be pretty crazy. I would personally hate that.
Oh no, absolutely. I would despise it.
I would love
Personally
it.
Be terrible.
That would make Brains the best show in the world.
But I feel like there has to be more to that, so that's why for me it's number 2 and not number
Yeah.
1, because I think they are going to answer that question.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's
I mean,
very
that's
fair.
like answering like Game of Thrones, right? That's like you leaving that show on. So who got the Iron Throne? Boom, show ends. And you never
Honestly-
know who was on the throne.
honestly,
how could you do that?
It would have ended better than it did.
Stop.
Nick
I
T.
think Bren deserves to be on the throne.
Nick T, what's your number 2, my friend?
My number 2.
Your number 2
yeah.
unanswered question in Brains.
I actually forget, so let me pull it up. Oh yeah, of course.
Remember.
Are you okay?
It is the chess pieces, which we've talked about quite a bit at length. I don't know if there's much more for me to say about it at this point. I don't get it. You know, we were hyped up quite a bit, as Pete can provide, you know, sources with as he was watching a lot of those scenes. We get hyped a lot in that first season,
Yep.
just to have it cut down to our personified queen. Which, even if they talked about, hey, Queen ended up taking over total control of the company, and the other chess pieces were nixed, I would have been fine with that, but they just disappeared.
They disappeared.
Yeah.
That is one that we all had on our top 5. I had it 5, Pete had it 4, Cal had it 3, you had it 2.
Yep.
Wow.
So none of us had it number 1, but we all had it 1 higher than each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's the first one at least that we all
It's an important
agreed on
question.
in top
Yeah.
5.
Well, we all were so excited and throwing out theories on all different stuff with the chess
Yeah.
pieces, and it just you know dissolved into thin air.
Yeah.
Nothing came out of it. It was like we put all this like, wow, I wonder who this could be, who that could be. Dylan makes the video about the bishop, which was very on point, and then
Thank you.
you're welcome. And then it's like we have all the we were talking about like, oh well, who's the rook then? You know, who's the knight? Like which one's which? And it's just it turned into there was queen.
I just like when a show adds complexity. When you have
Yeah.
multiple villains, you add to that 3 or more mark where there's 3 or more sides. That's when I love when a show does that.
Yeah. 5Ds did
Break
it really
the
well.
mold of the regular, just heroes versus villains.
Yeah.
Break it.
That's why a lot of people love the Dark Signers arc, because 5Ds have the Signers, Dark Signers, Arcadia. They had,
I'm gonna get there.
yeah. All right, you're not there yet.
Oh.
Not to spoil it, but that didn't spoil anything. It's good. Caliber, what's your runner-up?
All right,
Unanswered
so
question.
my runner-up, and this one, I think there just could have been so many different ways they could have gone about it. So many, so much story could have come from it, and that's who the Hanoi spy was in Soul Tech.
God.
And I mean, obviously it was Hayami. We all know that, but we're gonna pretend we don't. There was so many different ways they could have gone with that. Just implementing that small little thought into your head where it was like, oh yeah, he doesn't deny that there's a spy, basically.
No, he doesn't.
Revolver
deny it.
kind of
If
gives
anything,
a
he
little.
confirms it.
He
He
gives a little
smirks and
smirk. He's
looks.
like, you know, maybe not, you know. And I think it would have just been so perfect that even if it ended up not being a big deal, just like they could have made a few episodes of where they caught who the spy was, you know.
Sure.
And then that's when Revolver had to turn away from the team or something. You know, it could drag the story into so many
Sure.
different ways. And the minute we thought that there was a possibility that there was a spy, we were all like hyped on it.
Yeah.
Like, we were all thinking theories. I said Hayami right from the jump. I was
Loved
like,
it.
Oh, yeah.
it's like it's Hayami.
Loved
Like,
it.
Yeah.
and
It's a great theory.
and it was great because of how close she was with Akira. It made so much
And
sense.
how the aloofness could have been
Yeah,
an act.
right,
she-
right. The
it's-
whole thing
Yep.
could have been an act.
pretending to be like kind of over the top just because she really just wanted to get as close to him and gain his trust and all this stuff.
Exactly.
It made so much sense. I had convinced myself that was going to happen. It was
Yeah.
just it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And
me
then
too.
again, nothing came out of it.
Instead of the spy revealed, we got Pandora.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And I'll just completely kind of take over from where you left off because my
Number
2 is the
Bum,
same
bum,
exact
bum.
thing.
Oh,
The Hanoi Spy of Soul Tech.
Damn.
So it's good.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good work.
Yeah, I mean, not too much more for me to say. I go pretty deep into it in my video, and of course, if you do want to see my top 10, I do have it linked down below. Also have a poll down below in the description. You can vote on the next VRAINS top 10 video, duels characters, duels we wish we saw. Definitely vote in the description. But I have the Hanoi Spy at Soul Tech at number 2 because this was going to be the way to get Revolver to enact revenge on Soul Technologies for what they did to his father. One of the most pulsating scenes in the show for me in season 1 is when Revolver realizes that Soul Tech is the reason his dad, Dr. Kogami, is in the state he's in, and he immediately says, well, then we have to go after Soul Tech. What are we doing? We have to take them down. And Kogami, I think, literally says, no, don't be an idiot. Like, he calls his son an idiot, and he's like, we have to go after the Ignis. They're more of a threat. After we take care of the Ignis, then we go after Soul. So it's not like, no, we'll let Soul run free. There were foreshadows in that scene that, okay, the Ignis are going to be dealt with, and then Soul Technologies has a target on their head. Knights of Hanoi are coming for him. This was going to be the green light path into Soul Technologies headquarters from the Knights of Hanoi, and it just didn't come to fruition because really when you start to look at it from a very broad perspective, everything that didn't come into fruition all has to do with Soul Technologies. Most of it has to do with Soul Technologies. Soul Tech was supposed to have such a major role in this show. You cannot convince me otherwise. And it just didn't come to fruition. But the spy at Soul Technologies, knowing that there is one, knowing that it has to be a character that was definitely discussed behind the scenes, that like, okay, this is who it's going to be. Was it going to be Hayami? Was it going to be a brand new character? Was it going to be a Kitamura? Or
I was thinking possibly
Kitamura. Some people even speculated that it could have been Akira Aizen. Akira Aizen and Revolver did kind of meet towards the end of the show, right before I came for him, and that would have been really interesting. And the way you can tie it in is because Akira didn't really like Soul Tech. He didn't like what the Soul Tech uppers were doing.
He was no lapdog.
He literally said that.
He was mortified what happened to Earth. So that would have been a really cool twist for Akira, get him more into the story. I don't know. There obviously was a lot that they were going to do with Soul Tech that just didn't come to fruition. That's number 2 for me.
Also, I just have 2 points on top of that.
Yeah.
So one, Ghost Nation said that I was the Hanoi spy this whole time, and that explained my absences the last few months.
Oh,
that makes
I've
sense.
been so absent.
That's canon. That's as good as canon.
So now, for a second there, I thought you were trying to make the blasphemous statement that you were like the Ignis.
No.
And I was like,
no.
I don't see that.
No.
But my second point was what ruined the Hanoi, the path for the Hanoi spy thing was when Lightning just says, "Oh, I did it."
That ruined a lot of things.
That pissed me off.
That ruined a
so
lot of
much.
things.
When he takes credit
for killing Kogami.
Oh, one of the worst things they did in the show.
Absolutely.
It's right there, and the Windy comment.
If not,
those 2 things you tie to Lightning should have never, ever
He
happened.
didn't need him.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off. He didn't need him. He was a great villain.
Yeah, Windy was a great villain, and Revolver already hated Lightning. He did not need that extra motivation.
No.
There was no reason to do that.
that made me very mad.
And to me, that was them realizing, holy crap, we're going to wrap up this show sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
And you know what?
That
We're
was
not
the
going to have
beginning of
time
the
to
end.
expand this arc,
Yep.
so we're just going to give Lightning the blame for it because we could wrap this up.
And
right
that
now.
way, Soul Tech,
Lightning.
Yep.
It immediately exonerates Soul Tech of any blame.
Yep.
to a degree.
Or to a degree. Obviously, they
They're
killed.
still a
They still killed
money-hungry
Earth.
corporate.
Yeah.
They still literally massacred Earth.
But
But
that
like,
was,
that was a mistake. But it wasn't really a mistake because they didn't have the time. They just didn't have the time.
Well, it was up to that point, that was a mistake.
Sure. Oh no,
Obviously,
I hated
the story
it.
changed such in
Because,
so many ways.
I'm not even sure that doing what he did, becoming the human at the end, I don't even think that was in the original plans. I think that was thought of maybe like 20, 30 episodes before that season started.
Yeah.
When they realized they were just running out of time. We're going to get into our top unanswered questions of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS now. I'm going to go first since mine's not really much of a secret.
Yeah.
Since
We'll snake it back again.
Yeah, we'll snake it back.
Snake it back.
Number 1 for me is Eyes Fate. To me, if you have such an open-ended ending like that, such a cliffhanger, that has to be the top unanswered question. I'm not as confident as you are, Pete, that we are ever going to get the answer to that question.
It's more optimism.
That's fair. And
Glass half full.
I respect the optimism, but that is just such a massive cliffhanger. That is literally how, when you think about a show, you usually think about maybe your favorite scene, favorite character, and how it ended. That's one of the first things you think when you look back on a show, at least for me. How did the show end? Was it a good ending? That is the one scene that I am always going to remember, that I'm always going to process. And the fact that we will never really know what that means. Is that him waking up in our world? Is that him waking up in the afterlife? Did he create a backup where he goes into that backup with no memories? of the prior Ignis, no memories of anything, because he knows that's going to ultimately give humanity and AI a chance to coexist. Maybe. There's so many theories that come from it that we're never going to know. And Ai's fate, the deuteragonist of the show, has to be the top unanswered question.
I like that. That was a good vocabulary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'm excited to see what you three picked for your top unanswered question.
So mine has been said by all three of you. And my top one is Yusaku's parents' family.
Fair.
I think that, like we've already said, as a main character, you expect that character to be the most developed character, the one you know the best, the one you're following throughout the entire show, you're connecting with. And honestly, I don't think any of us really connected with Yusaku or connected with Playmaker. And you felt like you didn't know him. He had a very monotone personality. He wasn't up high happy, he wasn't low sad. He was just kind of always in the middle. You didn't really have much information at all on who he was or where he came from or how he got to where he was. It was just like, I'm a lost incident victim, but I don't know anything about my past, don't know where my family is, don't know who my parents are, but he doesn't even mention if he had a family or parents. And he's just like...
Or even grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. Any family member, any upbringing at all. It's just this void of no information. And I think as a main character, that's a big unanswered question. Is like, who is Yusaku? Is basically the question right then and there. And who were his parents? Where were his parents? Like, what? Like, I don't know. For me, that was just like, I wasn't able to connect with the characters. So it was a big question I would have liked to see answered.
Yeah, it was 3 for me, it was 5 for Pete, it was 4 for Nick T. That's one that made all of our top 5s. I think that's one that would make, if you pulled 100 people that watch the show, that probably makes top 3, top 4 for on average.
I wonder what the dub did with that.
I would say 16 episodes.
The dub probably didn't address it.
Yeah, it's already a question that I'm
exactly. It's a question
episodes,
from day one.
Now, to spoil it for you, it never really gets answered.
I will say real quick. Somebody said Caliber was spot on with the Playmaker.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's Cha.
And I want to...
Thank you.
There's
You
another
are spot
comment.
on.
Wait, can you go up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes. Not fine. Nugent said, or Yusaku is an orphan, which also could
That's
work
fine.
if they
Oh,
addressed
lives
it.
Right, because
alone.
Spectre was an orphan, they addressed it.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate when things.
But we don't know that. Yeah, we know nothing about it. If he was an orphan, say that. He could have lived in an orphanage from birth to the Lost Incident and further. But we don't know that.
We got more background on Miyu than we did on Playmaker. We met her mom.
Close.
We saw her meet Aoi.
Okay.
They played in the playground.
He's not
We
entirely
got more
wrong.
background
But
on her.
you know what? Even though we don't get
It's
kind
bold,
of
but it's
that
not a lie.
development of his family history, I feel like regardless of what Yusaku says, whether he tries to convince himself of it or he just does it to protect Kusanagi served as that kind of father or older brother role.
Yes,
when you met him,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, but I'm saying we pick up the show with that, right? And then we see how they met each other, going
Absolutely.
back in the
Of course.
60s or whatever episode it was. That, I feel like, at least filled it enough for me why this is number 5 and not number 1 for me. Kind of thing like that.
I completely agree.
That I agree with. That's why it was where it was for me as well.
So, Nick T, your number 1 unanswered question.
Which you had already addressed. The Hanoi Spy in Soltech. This one, it's kind of sort of multifaceted for me because, of course, it was a burning question.
Yep.
But I have a huge affinity for some waifus, and it's clear to me that Hiyami was the obvious pick for the Hanoi Spy.
Sure, I agree.
And I love her dearly, and it was a burning question for me. Just address it. But in reality, really. I just wanted them to talk about it more. I think it's incredibly important to know how Hanoi got their information out of Seoul.
Yep.
But we don't know at all.
I agree 110%. And I feel like when we first were trying to figure out who the spy was, I almost jokingly said it was Hayami because of just the way she acted. And then by the second time we brought it up, we were all like, no, it's Hayami.
Yeah.
It was so easy to convince ourselves there is a spy and it is Hayami and they can run away with this story. And then it just disappeared.
I just felt like the way they had written her, she was so almost loyal to a fault.
Yep.
To Akira. She was so kind, so
over the top.
so
right?
over the top,
yeah.
innocent, and almost and naive, but in my mind it was like fakely
Yes, exactly.
naive, or like she could have known way more than she leads on, and I think that would have set up for such a good spy.
And she had obviously had access to everything he was using.
Exactly.
Like she would help with his computer and stuff like that at his desk and everything.
Yeah,
right.
She had direct contact to him at all times. Like that's the one. That's the spy.
Right.
They have all the information.
And like to add on to it, she also had never proven to us at any point that she was incompetent. Whereas as I think Kitamura could have been a possibility, or someone like Kitamura could have been a possibility, he proved to be incredibly incompetent.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but Kiyomi never proved to us that maybe she's too incompetent to be the spy. No, she was always a loyal, sidekick to Akira.
She just always seemed to be obsessed with Akira.
If it wasn't for the very last scene of the show, that's number one for me as well.
Yes.
That's spy.
Yeah.
So Pete,
Dun, dun,
your
dun.
top unanswered question of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Jeopardy.
Music.
I think echoing you guys, and is there really any surprise what this question is? It's the spy. I mean, I love the Knights.
Well, I will say before you go
that
on,
was yours.
you had spy at 1, Nick T had spy at 1, me and Cal had it at runner-up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a big deal of why that is not set.
cumulatively, if we had to average all of our rankings,
That's number
easily the Night of Hanoi Spy at Soltech is as a group consensus the number one unanswered question.
Yeah, we get a group that serves as the main antagonist for season 1, right? They are all around for a majority of season 2, and then there's pieces of them really just revolve around season 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could you not address how they were getting some of their main sources of information, especially throughout season 1?
Dun, dun, dun.
Like, and even into season 2, they had so many connections, so many inside tracks of exactly what Soul was doing to predict what the Ignis would do next, because Soul usually had the most updated information on that. And how could you just abandon that storyline? And Hayami, as we joked before, that would have been a logical choice.
Yeah.
Anytime a show does something of a turn of a villain or a spy or something like that, it's always an established character. You don't pull someone just out of the woodwork.
Yep.
No.
It's always someone
I
that you
agree.
built up with because that has more connections for the audience. That would have fit. That she's putting on an act, why she wants to get closer to Akira and trust him, and maybe he wouldn't have hated her in the end because in the end the Knights actually ended up fighting for the good side somewhat. So yeah, that's my number one.
I didn't even think of that. Like his relationship with her, the way it would have been affected. I think we would have had a whole roller coaster.
Yeah.
Right?
Of
Exactly.
At first you would have hated her, but then it turns out they were helping, and then they regrow the relationship, and it could have been pushed in a whole variety of ways. Had it been her, she had been a bigger character.
I mean, what a reveal that could have been, right?
Yeah.
Like, she comes into their little hideout inside the VRAINS, and it's Hayami, whoever the spy is there. Like,
chills thinking about
like
it.
it starts
honestly.
off as kind of that lightning dark image where he had Jin, and then it kind of reveals to the light of what that character is. It would have been great.
Or even if Akira goes with Hayami to meet Revolver, and as Akira and Revolver are talking, Hayami just walks to Revolver's side.
Yeah, and dude,
And it could have been so many things you could have done with that,
Oh,
and that's just
dude.
That's a forgotten plot point that I wonder, because the director change happened at that point, because we're still getting mentions of that into season 2.
Oh yeah.
Why was that? Why was the ball dropped on that? Why was that never addressed? Because then it leaves a plot hole of how did the Knights always get their information?
Yeah.
You knew it was from the spy. Okay, who's the spy?
Mm-hmm. How did you not tell us?
I think the whole aspect of just not having time, and they decided all the Soltech stuff just had to go because there was too much and not enough time for it. So they switched it and were like, I's just going to take over Soltech.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else that was relevant with Soltech is now gone because all the people lose their jobs, everyone's out, and it's just him.
They could have done that too in a funny way in season 3, where they could have had I going through the data of Soltech and him just giving a one-liner, but you know who the Knight spy was? It was blah blah blah.
Like saying that
just
for
saying it
Bobby.
right there.
Yeah, that
Like,
would have been funny.
they didn't even give us that.
No.
Go to the date and he's like, oh, so Hayami, huh?
Yeah.
Like he would have done something like
Sure,
that,
of
but it's
course.
Topologic
Of
Navy,
course.
right?
Topologina Navy,
He's making those jokes.
Well,
Yeah,
who is
that'd be
Topologina Navy? But yeah, it's
Was it even real?
And
right.
That was an honorable mention for me.
It was
Yeah.
for me too in my video. I'm not even kidding.
Good. And it's funny because with all our tops, like top 5s, there's a common thread for most of them, and as you sort of addressed, it's Soltech. Soltech is the common thread of maybe 4 out of 5 of each of our questions.
Yep.
So there were
Or maybe 3 out of mine, at least.
there were 3 out of 5 that we all agreed on in our top 5.
Right.
Yep.
Yusaku's parents. That doesn't really coincide with Soul Tech, but
The
the
chess
chess
pieces
pieces
and the
do,
spy.
Right.
and the spy do.
Right.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
those were the 3. And then Eyes Fade. So you left Eyes Fade off your
I did.
top. That might have been.
My disclaimer. I was 3:30 in the morning.
Okay. If you revise it, would that make your
It
top
would make
5?
it, yeah.
An honorable mention too would have been I didn't like the development, and I've said this from almost the beginning of the show of Go.
Well,
Right?
that might be more of a disappointment than an
Disappointment, but
question.
also unanswered question of you see what happens to him at the end of season 2, right, with Earth and everything. He just comes back in season 3. We don't answer anything of.
Sure.
We just get a few lines in the eye duel of why he realized this. I want to see that development. I want to see 10 minutes of flashbacks or something of how this main character in the show kind of built himself back up.
Yeah. No, I completely
Like
get
I
that.
said, they dropped the ball on Go, and everyone said I was a Go hater, but I really wasn't. I had so
He
much.
knew it was going to happen.
No, I had so much
He
aspirations for
influenced
him.
it to happen.
I wanted Go to be. I expected Go to be this really big, prominent main character, and just the way they went about using him as a character to me was again, it was a disappointment.
Yeah,
Like,
It was
that
a
would be a
waste of space.
that would be a disappointment for me.
I know.
Go would definitely be at least an honorable mention.
It's like when you rewatch it, right? The great duel he has in season 1 when they're going against the Knights there. He gives Yusaku basically the roadmap
Yep.
of how to beat Revolver.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he's just almost
Yeah.
a non-existent character.
Yeah.
He's an antagonist, and then he's
He was
nothing.
a shell of who he had, his
Yep.
former self.
Well, you're absolutely right. We are going to get into the final donations, wrap things up. I do want to check
Yeah,
on...
final. You got about like 40 to go.
I do want to check on the
Rock and roll.
the poll.
Pole
I
boy.
do
Oh,
have a
the
The
question.
pole boy.
Oh boy.
I'm going to pull up the poll. So there's a
Oh,
poll
boy.
in the description.
No, but
Pole
I'm
boy.
honestly curious, like, for you. Wait.
Pole boy.
Like for you guys, what do you think, like, this series actually is ranked in the top 10 to be, like,
If you want to read some
slow?
The first
donations,
Revolver
you
duel.
can.
Yeah, you can read some
Like 10 or
donations
11.
back.
All right,
Let's
so
do
I
some
just
donos.
okay. No, so I just asked Nick T and Pete the same question, so I want to hear your guys' answer.
Only 23 votes, so definitely vote.
Go vote.
So, and
Link.
Kate, this honestly could probably be something that you would like the answer to too.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's like it's about the show. So
Sure.
for you guys, like I asked Pete and Nick T, when did the show like get like invigorating for you? Like when did you get like that intensifying feeling of like holy fuck, I want to keep watching this every single time. Sorry for cursing.
We're good.
I can't really answer that.
Like do you know what I mean though? Like how
I
like,
do,
they both
I
just
do.
said like the first like
Revolver duel. 10,
Revolver.
11,
Yeah.
12.
Revolver
that's
duel
where-
because
is
like you have to
really
remember
Yeah.
Kate's on
Revolver
16,
versus
so you're
Revolver versus Playmaker.
so you're enticed already.
I'm
You're-
enticed. Yeah.
She's enticed. So at like episode 3, like I'm watching it and like I am enjoying it. It's not like I'm not.
But you're
But
not,
it's like
like,
the type
drawn
of thing
in.
where it's like
You have
how you
to-
guys said it's slow in the beginning. Like as I'm watching it, I'm like, when am I gonna get like that like one thing that's like, bam, okay, I'm
Yeah,
addicted.
I remember that as a specific moment because I remember texting Dylan and I said like I was like like the show's pretty good or whatever through the first
With
5
that.
episodes, and then because we did 1 through 5 as the first video,
Yes,
and then
yes,
I
we
think
did.
we did like 6 through like 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember texting you and I went, okay, the show got me now.
Yeah.
Because, like-
I
It just hooks
It-
you
yeah.
at that moment in
It-
that duel.
It does.
It does.
Because, like,
That
my
duel
whole
did
thing-
it for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like when I get addicted to a show, I get addicted.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
bad.
But sometimes you have to get
Like,
there.
Like for example, like Lucifer got into Lucifer
Of
in like a
course.
second. Literally finished it to the point where I was like addicted so bad that I like finished it in like a week and a half. I was ahead of Pete when he's the one who showed me it.
That's-
I beat him.
okay,
I got
holy
ahead of
shit.
him. Like it's sickening.
That's awesome.
Same with like Legends of Tomorrow. Like I'm like almost at season 2 already, and I just started it. Like it's disgusting when I get addicted to a show. So like I was just curious when I was gonna get to that point of like, wow,
Getting-
this happened. Like
Yeah.
it's happening.
The ball will roll for you at about.
Like
I would say-
so. Kate, you said 11, 12.
At the latest, it's the Revolver duel.
It was the
Like,
Revolver
yeah.
duel for me. Yeah.
And I feel like we're similar enough that I would be at the
Yeah.
same point of view. So like once I
Sure.
get to 11, 12, and be like, okay.
Mhm.
It's I don't in my experience with some anime, I think that's sort of the case. Not more often than not, but quite often. Like when I was watching Iron Blooded Orphans, I didn't feel as much as I ended up loving the show. I wasn't completely compelled until like episode 8. It's like, oh, I get it. I really like this character now, and I really want to keep watching.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of shows,
I was gonna
especially
say
where
that.
it's heroes
A
and
lot.
villains,
Right.
the first time that our hero goes up against its
That's
main
when it's-
antagonist or main rival,
That's
that's when the show
Yeah.
adds its complexity. That's when you get those moments of, I know who both these characters are and why
Yep.
I'm rooting for one side or the other.
Sure.
Yes,
And that's when a show either falls flat on its face or pulls you in. That's a very important moment
Wow.
to do.
Agree.
That
I agree.
I think I'll get pulled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I will.
Like
It's just,
And I'll find, I found even, with the few episodes that I've watched, what got me where I was like, I have to watch the next episode to figure out was the Blue Angel duel.
Yeah.
Where I was like, is she, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
That's
so what
right.
episode is that? Is that like 11, 12, or is that
It's
before?
6, I think.
That's,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
So
you
like.
even that.
The episodes I've gotten through so far, I'm like, okay, like, I like this, but I'm like, is this something that I'm actually going to get
Yeah.
intrigued in, that I'm
Right.
going to watch the entire, series?
It's just tough
Definitely not
because
for everyone.
early on, it's so slow and
Plus, it's
and
also
the
my first anime.
yeah, and like in the animations, like
Yeah.
even for someone like Dylan who's watched every single Yugioh show, like those beginning Link summon chants for like those first 13
They
episodes.
drag.
He's
It's-
probably said that to me like
rough.
17
I
times.
skipped.
It's
tough.
really
I skipped
rough.
some of them. I'm like, all right, I get it. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I would skip it to the point where I would see the monster that's being summoned. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to see 35 seconds of
chanting.
Yeah.
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 Rough. It gets
And-
better, though.
It gets a lot better.
I think-
All right.
All
So
right.
now that my question is over, let's start the donos, because we're
All
on
right.
page 3 out of 7.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh, that's
finish it
not too
up.
bad. That's not too bad.
All right.
Thank you guys. You guys were awesome.
So Bam
Donos.
donated another $5 and said, "I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing in advance if I butcher any
You
names.
say
I'm gonna do my
Aki.
best." And no,
You
no,
say-
no, no, don't tell me. I want to guess it.
Okay.
Dylan, as you say, glad you met your Aki, which is Kate. Have friends like Jack, which is
Is
Cal.
that good or
Crow,
That's
Nipti,
bad.
and Kiryu,
Bad.
Kiryu,
Good.
which is Pete. Sorry I couldn't give other guests person from 5DS. It's okay. I'm irrelevant. Don't
No,
worry
you're not
about
a
me.
You're
stop.
not relevant.
Stop.
I know. I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm
No.
just. This is my third one. Come on.
True.
You
Fair.
know, Pete, have
Yeah.
have you met Kiru yet? You haven't, right?
No, I don't think so.
I
Oh
have not
God, am I
watched.
gonna hate it?
I have not watched 5Ds, but I know what Crow looks like, and I'm down with it.
Holy shit.
Is
Oh,
Crow
I can't.
likable?
Wait. Can somebody?
Yeah, well, I don't like it, but a lot of people love Crow.
All right.
Which one's Jack?
So,
Jack is the rival.
Jack is dope.
He's the guy on the top right there.
Jack is fucking sick.
Crow is
Jack
on the
looks
left,
good.
and Aki's the girl with. And as you will note, Kiru is not on that poster for a good reason.
So.
Thank you.
Pete deserves better.
Pete deserves better.
Pete
Oh
deserves better.
shoot!
But much
That's
respect.
amazing. Thank
I
you,
love
Bam. That
Justice
was
for
that was
Pete.
great
I
comparisons.
think Crow is sick. Fuck you for
Alright.
not liking him.
So the natural one that I've watched during every stream, heard Pete read during every stream. Minister of Gunham said,
See how good you are.
donate $4.99. Said,
Barbados.
I
Barbados.
understand
I just wanna make
that
sure-
it's
I
not
wanna make sure.
Barbados, it's Barbados. I
Barbados?
get it.
That's what I just want to make sure.
Everyone watch Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans for best Gundam ever. Gundam Barbados.
Matthew, thank
Yeah.
you, my man. You're the best.
He's a little late on this one.
My
That's
friend
okay.
is
He was
from
late.
my friend is from actual Barbados, so like I get the difference.
I'm from Barbados too.
All right,
Nah.
let's not insult
Shut
people.
up.
Nah.
Dylan.
What? Excuse
Nah.
Bye.
me. Nah.
All right, so Bam donated another $10.
Oh, thank you, Bam.
Said this might be my last super chat for a while because bought tickets to go support our Yankees, Kate, in Game
Wow,
6 and
We're
if
going
a
to-
Game 7 might have to go to that game too. Nick T, thoughts, initial debriefs.
Wait.
Let Kate
Yeah.
answer.
I'm
Bam,
sorry.
thank you, and that's fine,
Thank
Bam.
you.
Enjoy the
That's
games.
amazing. Enjoy the game.
Go Yankees.
Do you have an extra ticket? Can I come with you?
Totally kidding.
Where does Brian live?
I think he lives in Texas.
So he lives by Houston.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna
Oh.
say,
So
man, that's a
Kate,
far drive.
Would I be the best cousin ever if I somehow got you?
Well, you
Don't-
would have to
don't-
also fly me to Houston.
They're in Houston. All right, never mind. I can
Yeah.
afford tickets but not flights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Close.
but have a fantastic
tried.
time at the
Cal.
game.
Yeah.
Me and Cal were
Sam
so
wrote
happy
you.
that
I
they
see.
made a comeback tonight. And
Yeah, go Yanks.
go Yanks.
All right.
We're stoked for you. Have a great time at the
Enjoy the
game.
game, Bam.
Yeah.
To
Go ahead.
address the second part of it, I have not yet watched the previews, regretfully. I've been very busy. But actually, I promise you, and that's right, like, my word is bond, I will watch them as soon as...
2:12 a.m. on 10/19/2019.
Word is man, bro.
I will watch the previews as soon as the stream is over, and I will DM you my reaction immediately, because those are still in my DMs.
So basically, if you don't have a DM by like 5 a.m., you can tell
No!
them. Bye.
Bam, you stay tuned to Twitter. If you see me tweeting about how the Houston Astros won the LCS, I will be very happy. So thank you very much.
Hey, can you guys violence down? All right, so next dono is Joss Rivers donated $1.99, $1.99, and
$2.
my
Bow.
$2 now. My top unanswered is the OG cards of Revolver.
Yes. Right.
Magic Cylinder.
Right. And Mirror Force. Well, I guess the unanswered question would be why does he have them? But like,
Because they're dope.
if you open, yeah, thank you.
Because
Josh.
in
If
my head, he is a student of history. And so he looked back at everything somehow, and he got the best cards for his deck.
That's what's
and
up.
that's out.
there's your answer.
That's your answer. That's a good answer.
Didn't you use
Those-
Magic Cylinder against Wendy for the first time?
Yes.
Was that when he used it?
Yeah.
Those.
I'm
Want to talk
very,
about if we do a top 5 moments in the show?
Well, we're definitely doing duels.
Those who ignore history are
Ready for the
doomed
last one.
to repeat it, and Revolver will not make that mistake.
Much love, Josh. Thank you.
That was a good one. I'm here for that.
all right, next donation is Minister of Gundam. I'm going to do this how I feel like he would want it done. It's $1.99. Go Gundam!
My man.
Yes.
That was well done,
That was
man. Well done.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciated.
That was beautiful.
It was
Matt-
in all capitals with like literally like
Like-
16 exclamation
Yeah.
points, so I feel like it deserves
That was the
it.
whole
That was
caption.
it. That was it.
That was it. That's all it was.
That's it.
Thank you, Matt.
I love you.
Thank you.
I
dude.
dig it. I dig it.
I have
Um,
stuff to discuss with you, Matt, by the way. I'll DM you
Off-stream.
later.
Bam.
Yeah, no, off stream.
Right.
Donate another $2. Kate, forever best girl in my heart.
Spam. I
Burning
appreciate
Gundam.
it. Yes, Burning
Yeah.
Gundam.
Burning Gundam's
Burning
dope.
Gundam, dude.
Burning Gundam's dope.
Those are the exclamation points. I'm not just being that obnoxious.
No, I
No,
know.
of
yeah.
course. No, I like that you're like reenacting them. That was
Yeah.
No, I
Yes,
feel like
that's
I
great.
should. I feel like it's my job right now.
Yes, thank you, Bam.
Yeah. Thank you, Bam.
I remember.
No.
Sakaki Chrono, $2. How is twerking in Montreal?
We didn't go.
We didn't go because I did not watch all of VRAINS by the time we went to Montreal.
She failed the bet.
I
Yes.
failed, so we did not.
Thank
but
God we saved
Actually,
$36.
Me and Nick T did reference
I was gonna
multiple
say-
times in
I
Montreal.
was willing to go.
that we
Plot
should
twist,
have
me
just
and
done
Kate
it.
actually went and they didn't know.
And here's the thing. I was willing to still go, but it turned out I get everyone sick on the trip. So,
He did
That's
get
what
us
I got.
Oh,
sick
yeah,
on
and
the
on
trip.
top
I
of
was
Nick
sick
T getting
before the
sick, let's
trip.
just all
Yeah.
yeah, I was...
discuss the fact that Nick T got everybody
Yeah,
sick.
the first 2 days I was very sick. Day 3, I'm like, all right, I can deal with this. And everyone was like, ah.
Yeah, everyone
So,
was dying
that
at
would,
that point.
yeah, you know, that would happen.
Except for
Except
me and
Dylan.
Yeah, except for me
Which
and
is
Dylan, we were
very
like-
surprising because Dylan has Epstein-Barr and gets sick 80
Let's
times
just
a
put
year.
it
I get
this
sick
way.
very easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pete and I were taking shots of vitamin C every morning.
that's true.
Woo!
Pete,
I like that.
can I
That
very
was nice.
quickly talk to you about the lemon lime flavor of Emergency? It has changed my life.
You like
Good
it?
one?
I love it.
Okay,
yes.
so I'm going to have to try the next one
Lemon
because I've
lime.
only ever had the orange.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I've only
no, go
wait,
for
wait,
the
wait.
go
I
for
like
that
the
lemon
orange.
lime.
Wait,
It's
no,
so
Kate.
good.
I will
now,
try that.
Now I'm
Is it?
curious
Yeah,
because
it's
I've
really
only
good.
had the orange too.
Does it taste
Yeah.
like Sprite?
It doesn't taste like Sprite, but it.
That would be good. though.
I was gonna be disappointed with it, but it
All right.
was really good.
I will definitely
because
try
the
that.
orange
Hopefully
makes me gag.
not in the
I
near
can't do
future.
it.
I picture the lemon lime tasting like, you know those dots or the shots, the green little ice
test
cream
tube
shot
shots.
things?
Yeah.
What?
No,
You're talking about like almost like the
the
Dippin'
ice cream
Dots,
man
but like not
comes.
the
It's like
Dippin'
those
Dots, but the
dots.
shots.
It's like the little green
Dill.
dots. It's called shots.
Hey, Dylan.
You don't know what that is?
Nah.
Do you ever get ice cream from the ice cream man?
All the time.
I know what you're talking
I
about.
always
Thank
get
you.
the Sonic
That's
the
what I picture it
Hedgehog.
tasting
Yeah.
like.
Fucking
No, honestly, and
ice pop
when
with the little
actually
ice cream.
Kate knows what we're talking about because
gumball
when we were in
eyeballs.
Wildwood and the ice cream
Obviously.
man came around, that's
Or
what me and
Ninja
Kate got.
Turtles.
Remember the cups?
That's what I
Oh,
picture it tasting
duh.
like.
Not Dippin' Dots, they were shots.
Close?
Close.
Okay.
Not
Alright,
exactly.
so-
Dippin' Dots is trash. Just
Anyway, back to Dono. Sorry.
No.
That's why I was.
You didn't say that.
Just going to say it.
Wait,
Dono.
whoa,
Shout out
wait,
Dippin'
wait,
Dots
hold on one
sponsorship.
second. What did you just say?
Dippin' Dots
Shout out Emergency.
or trash.
Shout out
Dippin' Dots
Emergency.
are trash.
Discount code.
Sponsor. Use our.
It's not real ice cream.
Call her dad.
It tastes like frozen charcoal. Just going to say it.
Okay, that's fine.
We're moving on.
Dono.
We're moving on.
I'm not even going to argue that.
You guys can keep fighting for a second because I'm just, adding another donut.
No, we gotta move on. We gotta
We're
move
gonna
on
move
because the
on.
dots thing is boiling my blood right now.
At me, bro. At me, bro.
I honestly, you really don't like,
I like Dippin' Dots a lot.
Dono.
I think it's a poor imitation of ice cream. I'm just going to say it.
Dono.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Dono.
I don't care that
Thank you,
broke
Shadow
your elbow.
Realm. Exactly.
Someone agree with him?
Yep.
What the fuck?
Daniel also said it's okay. Exactly. They're just
See, okay, yeah, I'll accept it's
They're
okay,
meant.
but if you call it trash,
They're not
Nick, look at me.
trash.
Trash.
oh, come on.
Go
Your
on.
doo-doo butter.
All right, so back to the list.
Back to the donos.
Yeah,
Dono.
I had one more to add. I think I added it twice, but YOLO.
We'll find
Taking
out
shots
the
at
hard
Dick.
way.
If I read it twice, we read it twice.
If he dies, he dies.
If it
Basically.
bleeds, I can
All right.
kill it.
Next dono is Minister of Gundam.
Matthew again.
Matthew Kennedy.
We're gonna say $5. Nick T and Kate Barbados is watching over you. You both shall be safe from all injury and pain for the rest of you. Well, Pete, I got your back.
Wow.
Kinda
So that
seems
basically
like a-
means the three of you. Yeah.
It's a low-key
Yeah,
shot
we
we're-
there.
respect. We respect.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you,
I
man.
have not watched a
Thank you.
single episode of Gundam, but I appreciate the excitement and the tenacity on Gundam.
But
Yes,
I
and
can't start a new show.
Exactly.
Burning
I
Gundam.
can't do another show. Okay, I'm watching too much as
Do
it
it.
is.
No, just do a short
Right.
one. Do Gundam.
I gotta finish
I'm
Brains
dead,
and
so-
then
It's like, I feel like once I finish VRAINS, then I'll be like, okay, I can watch more anime. Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Just
after
Alright.
wait.
Brains, Code Geass.
Okay.
Oh?
Ooh.
Gundam Wings dub.
Just saying.
Dono.
Don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Rex
I
Kendrick
have
donated.
8 hours.
Oh,
Oh, he's a member.
never mind. Became a member.
Thank you,
Again.
Rex. Thank you so much, man.
2 months. Welcome to Raw Yellow.
Yes, thank you, Raw Yellow. Rex, thank you so
Congrats.
much, dude. I
But then
appreciate
plot
it.
twist. Rex Kendricks also donated 4,000
Yeah.
Colombian peso.
It's
4,000. I
Colombian
said
pesos.
40,000 at
Oh.
first. 4,000 Colombian peso and said, "Me, you open a flower shop with Spectre."
Ooh,
Sure.
I would like that.
Yeah,
I
why
would
not?
like that. Yeah.
Why not? All right, Spectre didn't do really anything.
He said
well,
he
that's-
like grunted at the at the end of the or what did he say? Yeah, or something fucking stupid. And in the last episode,
He asked if Playmaker will return.
Right,
Yeah.
and then he goes. Revolver goes. Yeah, he's gonna return stronger. And then Dylan goes. How is he gonna return stronger? He never
Yeah,
lost.
right,
a duel."
exactly. He was undefeated. So that was something.
All right.
That
Because he's
I
happened.
can't believe they took that down twice now.
Yeah, it's
is it back up now?
No, it's off.
He's gonna combine himself with I, dude. Wait for it.
Maybe, maybe that's what they meant.
Stop it.
Elizabeth W. donated
Yeah, don't
$2 and said, "Also, Dylan and Yoshida comic is in process now.
I
Progress
read that.
now."
She had commented a few things about that like a half hour ago,
Yeah,
but
it was
then
a
she
while
donated
ago.
saying that.
Oh yeah, and
I
she
think
also
expect it.
also donated $2 and said, "Top unanswered question to me is Yusaku's link sense."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a good question.
That was number 4 for me, Liz.
I honestly forgot it was a thing until that Bowman duel. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, that's right. He asked this.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's like,
Why does he
yeah,
have it? How did he get it? Yeah.
Why is it only come into play?
That was a disturbing
twice?
scene.
Yeah.
When he could hear
The screams.
all the
yeah.
screams,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
disturbing.
Yeah, that was
It
a
was pretty
deep scene.
dark.
Yeah. Thank you, Liz.
Next donation is Goosey Q
Goose. Beautiful.
saying, "Hey guys, we never saw Wendy before he was evil. Would have liked to see more of the other Ignis and their background like Aqua and Earth. R.I.P."
Yeah, I agree, Goose.
Yeah.
We got
I
a
agree.
very, very vague and quick description of what it was like before everyone was evil from I in like one episode.
Yeah.
And it was basically all the other Ignis were on path and had a plan, and I was just riding around on Linkribo, not paying any attention to what they were
That's the
doing.
way to
That's
live.
when
That's
he makes
basically what it was.
Isn't that when he makes some kind of inappropriate innuendo to Aqua and she bitch slaps him into the ground?
Something like
I'm
that.
almost
Hey.
positive that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
forgot about that.
Goose, thank you, man. That's funny.
next donation is Bam, and this was Kate. You already answered this in the chat, but it was Anonymous Lover said, "Sorry, Kate." Bam donated to say Anonymous Lover said sorry.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
which
Oh, that's so
I
nice.
did say to her because she was like,
I
I'm so
felt
sorry,
so
blah, blah, blah. I'm
Oh,
like,
she
no,
doesn't.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
she didn't need to
I'm
apologize.
like,
Oh,
girl.
Yeah, there's no need
you
to
learn
apologize.
everyone. It's
You know me now. It's okay.
yeah. It's tough
Yeah.
to know everyone as you know.
Exactly.
As we add people
yeah,
in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although you're on
Just
here
wait
a
till
lot.
Me and
Jump
Kate are
Festa.
basically twins. We just blend together.
Yeah, they're sisters.
Facts.
Yep.
They're sisters.
Siamese.
Yeah, wait till Jump Festa. We're gonna have like 30 people on. You're not gonna know
Connect.
anybody's name. It's gonna be great.
Somebody's gonna be a train wreck. I can't wait.
We're
Next
taking shots.
donation. Boop.
Nice.
I'm just trying to get that.
That's good. That's good.
Next donation is Goosey Q again.
Goose.
Spam
So
that goosey
we
emote.
are not going to address I creeping on Queen in her bedroom and beats her in her dream, making her unconscious. He made Roboppy watch too.
I feel
Yeah.
like this. in the end is like a really just big analogy for something else.
Yeah, it is. And, they had to go through the strip club to get there.
Yeah. I think
So-
Queen actually had like
That's right.
a fetish
They
dream
did go
about
through a
that.
strip
They
club.
did. They
I
straight
mean, a
up
lot of
did.
people like to ignore the fact that they walked through a strip club.
You know, a lot of things happen on Richie Rich boats. Okay, who are we to judge?
but like what?
Like
It's
Jeffrey
Fast and the
Epstein.
Furious.
That's amazing.
Oh.
That's a whole nother topic, maybe for the After Dark podcast.
That's
But yeah,
amazing.
that is. You know what that scene reminds me of?
Well, it's been done.
It reminds me of an
Why are you
Avatar: The
choosing
Last
that?
Airbender
Just
scene
making
when Zuko comes into Azula's room and she's like waking up there and he's like trying to discuss like why she made some lie up. I won't go into the whole detail, but like that specific scene of just the way the door opens and the light opens up to like this beautiful bed that this really bitchy character is
Hey.
sleeping on.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
You don't let him do that?
What
Say
do you
that
do?
about her?
About who?
About my queen.
Thank you for the donation.
Wait, I do want to
Alright.
say, because
Oh.
we're on the topic, I'm sorry, real quick, so much, like maybe like 20 minutes, so much of the comments was talking about how thick Queen is.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh,
for a
It
while.
was flooded with
Then there was a
Flooded with
confusing
this.
comment where it said Pandora
Hashtag
was
Pete is
thick.
best girl.
Pandora
And I
could
was
be
like,
thick.
again, it's a robot.
It's
so
fine, though. It's fine.
So
Queen's
back
thick,
to
though.
the
That's amazing.
donos. Sakaki Chrono donated another $5 and said, I bet Uncle Wayne loved the director's cut of FMA as well, where every scene featured Nina and her dog being fused together.
I was laughing at that when you.
Have you seen that scene at
Yeah.
least? Oh my god.
My
dude.
friend Alex showed me that scene.
That
Oh my
is
God.
legend. So, quick aside,
Supergirl has.
I have a I don't know where I found it. On Twitter, someone, if any of you have played that mobile game that they did for Animal Crossing, the
Mario
camp,
Kart?
no, no. There's an Animal Crossing mobile game, and someone did an edit. I'm not gonna find it right now. And made one of the animals the half human, half dog hybrid that Nina became, saying like Edward, and it's terrifying. I'm gonna post it somewhere. Find it. It's amazing. But
Wasn't that her own father or something like that?
her own father did that to her. Yeah, it's
It's fucked
top
up.
5 most disturbing things I've ever seen.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Uncle
So
Wayne
great.
would love
Uncle
that,
Wayne
though.
would love that.
He would love that.
So, next dono is an honest anime lover. Again, donated $2 more and said, good night, everyone, and have a great weekend with a
Aw.
Anonymous anime lover
Very
in the
nice.
best.
Just-
Thank you
for
so
stopping
much.
by.
Yes, thank
That's
you for
like one of
donating.
the-
Good night. Good night.
Have an amazing night.
Legendary Duels donated $5 and said, number 1, Yusaku family. Number 2, chess pieces / SOL Kings.
Mhm.
Okay.
Should I say of Soul Kings?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Soul Kings.
It's
My
fine.
bad.
No worries.
My beat. I tried. Number 3, Link Sense. Number 4, Eyes Sense. And number 5, Pandora. If you guys want to hear my reasons, give me a quick call.
I don't know how long ago that was. I don't know if.
Probably.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to call him in when we do characters. I
Okay.
promised him that.
Yes.
that was a while ago.
But I
though.
think I don't think the reasoning is fully necessary because
a lot of those are similar.
makes
The only
sense.
Do you feel like
Yeah.
you get it?
They're
Like you
also
understand
very-
the reason
yeah.
why?
Yeah,
not
the only
only
one,
do they make sense, but like the reasoning is pretty similar to ours, I'm sure.
Yeah, Pandora is the only one that I didn't have on my top 10, but I probably understand why, because there was like, why did I keep her alive?
Yep.
Why did,
Why-
what happened to her after Revolver?
I think they
gave her
And the
planned to
implication
explore that
of-
more, and
yeah.
they just
They
didn't
ran
have
out of
time.
time.
The implication of him losing his control on her,
Right.
which we sort of lost. I mean, pretty much
Yeah,
lost.
that's a fair statement. Legendary, thank you for your list, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the donation.
So the next donation is David Enos.
I love David Enos.
He's a great guy.
And it was, what if Queen was the Hanoi spy?
Overlooked option. I mean, if they'd explored it, that could have been a possibility, you know? Like, even though if she's the head of the company, it wouldn't be good business for her. But if she was not technically the head of the company and King was, whoever King was,
Company in my
hey, she could have been feeding them information, sitting
Sure.
by her pool. Why
Sure.
not?
Yeah, that it definitely. I mean, it's all skepticism now because we don't know.
I just
But-
feel like it would have been a poor choice. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it works.
I feel like it would have had to be
Yeah.
a new person coming into power that was the spy, like from within, and like they didn't know. You know what I mean? Like how Kitamura was. It was almost like that could have been one if he wasn't so incompetent.
Queen is
Screw
just like you
Kitamura.
paint her as a villain, right? But like she's too high up.
Yeah.
When you have someone as a spy, it needs to be someone that's under the radar. that you would never expect that that's the person feeding information to the Knights.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Queen, too high profile.
I agree. But interesting overlooked option, Davis. Thank you.
So next donation is Rex Kendricks again with the Colombian pesos of 4,000, saying, "Hey, don't look back now. There's someone watching."
Yes, Selena Gomez.
Selena's
is back
here.
there.
How you doing?
It's my girl Selena.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a few comments of, "Oh my god, I forgot Selena's back there. How is she doing?"
There were some that was like, "That's so creepy. How terrifying."
Yeah, Kate, like I was reading them. I was like,
yeah.
She's back there for good now.
I momentarily
Gomez.
forget that she's there too. I forget when I come down the stairs to come in the basement, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, she's
wait, say
there.
that again?
Thank you, Rex.
Next donation is Josh Rivers donating $1.99 and said, "Owie versus Playmaker was my OMG duel. Owie screaming."
Yeah.
Aw.
That was that was early on. People
It's a
forget
throwback
about that duel. That was a pretty
Yeah.
intense duel. Though.
Yeah.
What episode was that?
6.
6. Yeah, that was
I'm
where
still not
that's what
even
hooked
there,
her.
bruh.
That's what hooked Kate.
Yeah.
Yep, I know. And when I get there, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you, Josh. That was a good duel. Overlooked.
Thank you.
It's up there, but then you have the Owie spectacle, and then
And
it
Sean.
just tops it in terms of Owie
Yeah.
and Kane.
Her best duel was the Bowman one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, by far.
Agreed.
Very good
Great
for her.
duel.
Yeah.
it started
Aqua
with
offsetting
Ghost.
as the partner. Love it.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Oh my god. Ghost Nation just keeps putting like
Just read
it was
one
me,
and then
Nick
cover.
Thick, and then someone said T stands for thick.
So we're talking
What who was it?
about
MEQ.
MEQ.
That's amazing.
I'm
And then
trying to start the hashtag Nick Thick.
Nick Thick. And then Ghost Nation said Cal Thick. Let's get it going. The whole crew.
Yeah.
Everyone thick.
Everyone thick. With
Oh.
2 C's.
That's girl
Thick
Alright.
everything. Best girl Pete.
Hashtag best girl Pete. Put
You
it
know
down
that
in the
would talk-
chat.
you know
Hashtag best girl Pete.
You know, I'm at work today, and I get Discord notifications, and everyone's talking about that, and I'm like, what the hell, guys? We're not even on stream.
Yeah.
Well, you're the best girl, Pete.
Hashtag best girl Pete.
Best-
Shadow Rum just said, is that a JoJo reference?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We talked
Best
about
girl,
this.
Pete.
I feel like we had a
Best
conversation about this. Not directly, but sort of indirectly.
I'm not even gonna respond to you as Pete anymore. I'm just gonna say best girl, Pete.
Oh,
Come on,
crap.
Shadow. You know better.
Is that a
You know better.
Okay, so the next dono is Bam saying, "Pete, answer the question. Why is he Kiryu?"
Dill would be the best one to answer that.
What was the question?
Pete, answer the question. Why he's Kiryu?
Why was I picked that as
Kuryu.
my 5Ds character?
Oh. I really don't know.
You're the only one who
I
could
can't
really
say
answer
what
that.
happens to him because.
Wow,
That's
look at
massive
hashtag best girl
spoilers.
Pete.
All right,
best
so
girl Pete.
we'll put that one on hold.
Yeah, we'll put
for
that
now.
one on hold. Yeah, right. I
I'm
can't really give it away.
gonna
man.
guarantee be very disappointed of why I'm that.
I love Kid as a character,
I
but
swear,
I
if
wouldn't
it's
want to be
something mean,
compared
I'm
to
gonna
him.
be so sad.
But I love you, man. Thank you, Bam. Great
All
comparison.
right, so we're going to the next. Don't you bam, bam. You donated $2 and said
Amazing.
Gundam
Dynams.
Dynams targeted and firing.
Firing. Lock on. Yes. Absolutely. Top. Definitely a top 2 or 3 from Double O.
I copied
Could be a
his
top
voice.
10 Gundam for me in general. Dynams is sick. Lock on, whether it's either brother,
It's
is
unbelievable.
phenomenal. So, you know this.
And
We
he's
talked
out
about
in
this
it.
last night. Dynams is sick. Of course.
Thank you, Yud. I appreciate it, man.
And then
Pete, do you see what MEQ said?
Yeah.
Pete
Thick
Caro.
That's
Pete the
good.
carrot.
Oh, wait, what did it
Here's
say?
it.
I'm gonna get that tattooed on my face.
That's another
Me
one.
too. Matching
Dylan-
tattoos.
Wait, they said
Dylan
Pete
Thick product.
Caro.
Thick
Oh my
Caro.
god.
Pete Thick Caro. That is getting tattooed on my ass cheek tomorrow.
Let's go. We're
I feel
going.
bad for you.
I don't. It's fucking great.
Pete the Caro.
All right. Next donation is Minister of Gundam donated $5 and said, "New girl, I'm watching out for you now too. Dylan, you will suffer alone because you don't support Gundam."
What?
Wait, I feel, hold on,
That was a
though.
quick twist.
Hold on.
I am new
New
girl.
girl, I
You're
support
new-
you too, Dylan. You're
I also-
done.
Yeah, I got support.
I
Fuck
feel
you,
like
Dylan.
he did forget to mention one person who hasn't gotten support yet.
Who?
Cal.
Selena Gomez?
No, yeah, it must have been Cal.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't have been me.
So maybe Cal is the one.
Maybe
that-
Cal's burning in hell with Dylan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Matt, thanks, dude.
We'll burn together, baby.
We'll
Burning together.
baby.
Burning
What the hell,
together.
anyway.
Next one is Bam. He said, Nick, did you show Cal the DM I sent you?
Literally like 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
So Bam DM'd me when Cal followed him back. And
I don't
he
even
sent
know
me the
what to say.
screenshot and he said, should I feel honored or should I feel like the 90 girls? LOL.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Next,
If you
Great
feel
comment.
used and have a lot of unanswered questions, you're like the 90.
Alright.
Next one.
Wow, that was rough. Next one is Sakaki Chrono donated $5 more and said the top unanswered question for me would be where were pendulums in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS? Every other method was suddenly introduced and shown, but no pens.
Yeah, no pendulums.
Sure, that could definitely be an unanswered question.
Yeah,
I
it also was complicated, like you said, with the whole way they link summons.
It would have
so.
made it very complicated.
We gotta. In my opinion, I'm not a huge, person into pendulums, but we kind of got that in the what was it, the
Agreed.
lightning specter duel, where they were able to take over the whole board.
Well, that was
because-
the extra link.
Yeah, because pendulums is about
Is it good?
flooding the
You did
field.
Sure, absolutely.
So it was similar.
Cool, sure, yeah. Yeah, it would have been cool to see pendulums. Definitely could be an unanswered question. Sakaki.
Probably get it in the next show, I would imagine.
All
I
right.
would hope so, yeah. Thank
Next
you.
one is Rex Kendricks, 4,000 Colombian pesos, saying new summoning mechanic theories.
This one's for you.
That's going to be a whole Road to Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 video, Rex. I don't want to give that away.
Ooh.
But I have a couple in mind.
I'm excited.
Oh,
for
really?
that.
All right,
Yeah.
so skipping on to the next one.
Love you,
$2
man.
from Legendary Duels. I'm still up, guys. LOL.
I appreciate
Well, thank
that.
you
I
for
don't think we
staying
still are not gonna call you. We love you, Legendary, but we're gonna call you next for the next.
For
video.
characters, we're definitely calling you.
Or
Legendary.
whatever characters is. I don't know. If
Yeah.
that's
All right.
Only because it's running late. I was hoping we'd be done at 2.
Yeah.
Joke.
It's 2:30.
Next video.
But I love you, man. Thank
next
you.
dono. Sakaki Chrono with $5 more. Another unanswered thing would be how all the other characters were able to special summon after seeing PM do it only once.
I just got that.
Yeah, that's another good one.
In like a few minutes.
Like Soulburner was able to XZs right after he saw Playmaker do it. How did he get those cards?
It doesn't add up.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't add up. So that definitely could be. That's a plot hole, yeah. Sure. I agree with that. Thank you, Sakaki.
Sakaki donated again and said, "Oh wait, I copied it twice. Never mind."
Bow.
So you knew you'd copied one twice.
You did. You said that.
Yeah, so I did. Okay, so the next dono is Bam saying $2 ladder match Pete versus Kate for Dylan.
You know what? I'll one up that, and I'll say a TLC match. She
I
hasn't said
love
a chance.
TLC matches.
Pete, I'm rooting for you.
As
Thanks,
long as
sister.
someone
chairs.
no DQ.
Tables, ladders, chairs.
And I'm gonna cut a
TLC,
whole
yeah.
promo of why I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
I can't wait.
But
Caliber's the special guest referee.
okay, the only way I'm watching,
now you know I'm gonna lose because he's gonna rig it,
I do
Well,
Take a chair
down.
over there.
and then we're gonna have our whole rivalry.
Now here's
Listen, the only thing I have to say about that is I refuse to fight someone who doesn't have a shiny Houndor.
Oh no!
she went there.
I'm sorry.
She hit
I
it where
am
it
so-
hurts.
I was honestly about to make a joke and I can't even make the joke anymore because that was just so harsh.
It's hot.
Oh!
It's hot in here.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
actually-
Kate,
Oh my
I'm sweating.
can I ask you
God.
this honestly while he's having his moment of mourning? Would you beat him up for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Shiny
the-
Houndor, though.
Is
Would you beat
TLC?
her up for me?
So-
Wait, hold
it's
on,
not
hold
even
on.
gonna
Is
happen.
TLC no DQ automatically? Is it already?
That's no deal. No deal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
no
yeah,
DQ,
yeah,
right?
yeah. No
Then
DQ.
someone has to break out
Why
the
is
bag
she
of tax.
beating me up?
No, like how
No
they say
tax, I'm not
You
watching.
versus Kate for Dylan. I'm
Incredible.
just asking. Curious.
Incredible question,
Turn
man.
to the
Thank
wrong
you.
TLC.
No, I'm not
proposal.
Don't go
betraying you. I
chasing
just asked if Kate
waterfalls.
would do it.
Oh my god.
Kate, he's saying I'm betraying him. I'm not betraying him. I'm just asking who would go.
Emmy, great reference.
That was great.
I love
it.
TLC.
I feel
No
like you- I
scrubs.
feel like you
Jam.
Like
Waterfall's
super
great.
punch her.
No, I'm not.
We're
gonna lose
talking
on purpose.
tables, ladders, chairs.
Wrestling.
That okay. Wait, because somehow that came up, I want to go. Even though we have another
the wrestling?
someone who had mentioned it. It's I put it in my notes because it was an early comment. Both Renee Sasori and Davis Enos asked me my thoughts on AEW. I haven't yet watched it. A buddy of mine is really into wrestling right now. Swears by it. He thinks it's incredible. I'm hoping to get into it soon. Maybe CM Punk will join that whole deal. I hope so because I love CM Punk.
That was the epitome of your life.
But I've heard
It really
AEW is
was.
awesome. I know what's his name.
I tried.
From the
I'm
from
sorry, I
Shield.
tried.
Who are the members of Shield?
Roman Reigns.
Not him.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose is in AEW as a new name now. Apparently he's awesome. So I've heard great things about AEW. I probably will be watching it soon, but I haven't yet.
Cool.
So I can't give you an honest thought, but I've heard it's incredible.
Okay,
Great wrestling promotion.
Next donation was Bam saying $5 more. Pete is him because of his betrayal, saying Astros win. Cal thinks Giants have a chance. LOL. Dylan, man, you might be in a regulation zone after this weekend.
What happened?
Okay, first of all, there was no LOL in there.
I just added that because of LOL. I'm a Giants fan too, but I wanted to make a joke of it.
I do think Giants have a chance this week. Pete did betray by saying the Astros are going to win, although he's a Mets fan, so he's betraying people like, me and Kate and yourself.
Exactly.
And Dylan is almost in the regulation zone because that's how bad Man U is.
Combos.
I think that's what he was referencing.
Yes, it is.
Liverpool, yeah.
All right, next dono
I got you.
is Cat Lou for $5. Not a top and answer question, but how did Yusaku know about speed duels in the first episode, as he was wondering if there was a 3 main monster zone?
You brought that up in your video.
Yeah, that was number 7 for me. Yeah. Or number 8. It was.
Do you think he just watched it because it was a charisma sport?
Nah, because you know what? Someone else made that point. Someone was like, well, maybe he studied the history. Like, they knew speed duels were a thing. So he says directly, isn't there a dueling style where there's 3 main monster zones? No, there definitely isn't. If he knew the history of it, then he would have known that there was. Yeah. So clearly he knew there was something that happened in his past that...
His link sense.
Maybe. His connection to I don't know what it was.
Maybe something he went through in the Lost Incident.
On the last 2 donos.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Bam donated $2 more and said, Kate just made it a Hell in a Cell now.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Remember when Mick Foley, you ever see the clip where Mick Foley goes off the top of the Hell in a Cell? That's going to be you.
Right.
Well,
I'm going to know.
Literally anything about
who is
wrestling,
Undertaker?
So
All you're going to know is you're going to be filled with thumbtacks.
filled with
all over your back.
thumbtacks?
All into your back.
All I'm saying really quick
You
before
picked this fight.
before another dono is someone said Pete's hats
that's
are
going on
part
a
of his
lot.
head.
Everyone's telling me that you could just take your hat
Yeah,
off.
everybody's taking your hat off.
Someone wrote that
Take it off.
it was such a
Take
hard
it off.
It was such a hard burn that I actually removed my hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
So,
it off.
I hurt. That hurt in my soul. Right
Ow,
there.
ow.
Your
Just
soul
do it.
tech.
Just go YOLO.
I'm never gonna get one. Just
Go
never
YOLO.
gonna.
Take it off.
You would never get this. You
Take
would never
that.
get this.
All right.
Ah, la, 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 la.
Next one. I said next Vine. Next donos.
I love Vine. Renee.
Renee Sasori, $2. Best moment in VRAINS was Queen pool scene. Thick as fuck.
Oh man, you're
Speaks to
speaking
Nick
my
T.
language.
That's a Nick T one right there.
Facts.
Who is
Speaking my
Queen?
Queen.
What's the
Oh,
Queen?
just
You mean
wait.
Queen in
Just
47.
You wait.
Okay, so I got some time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and she gets down with the thickness, let me tell you.
I'm
Down with the
enjoying the hype of
thickness.
the
Ooh,
scene,
As a great man once said.
so. Ooh,
Thank you, Renee.
Yes, I
I'm
agree.
gonna have to hijack this stream in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think you people are losing it.
We are a little bit.
Ooh, dude, the night isn't even
Wow,
started yet.
no. What did I hit?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I just based it.
Oh, God.
I'm good again.
I do it.
Can I ask in a very nice way?
You're...
What page of donos are
There's
we?
two
Last,
more.
there's two
There's
more.
two
We're
more.
on.
Two more?
There's 10
Okay.
pages total, but we have literally
You're...
Two donuts left.
Next one is Rex Kendricks with 10,000 Colombian peso.
Wow.
Too bad we didn't get to see Akira and Espeedo on Soltech's roof with Hayami doing crazy faces on the background.
I wish.
Yeah, that would have been
Big
amazing.
wish.
Yeah, we
I
definitely
don't
missed
know
out
if
on a
that's
few
a scene
pool
that I
scenes.
needed.
Akira and a Speedo? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have liked that scene. Barrett would have had a lot of fun with it. Barrett would've
Wait,
had
is
a lot of
Barrett?
fun.
No, right? Is Barrett Akira?
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, wow.
What?
Of course, Barrett's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Top
Yeah.
5 right there.
Yeah, that was great. Fantastic.
Thank you for the
Can't wait to
donation
read that.
and for the comment.
Next one is Sakaki Chrono. Change the channel name to Thick Everything so Dill can say, hello everyone, it's Dill from Thick Everything. Welcome to another Thick video.
Sakai
I
Bruno, I will
love
definitely
that.
not be doing that, but
What?
thank you for the suggestion.
What's filler arc, bro?
Honestly,
Filler arc.
Thicker
Filler
arc.
Thicker
Thicker
arc.
arc.
Thicker arc.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the content I subscribe for.
Yes.
We're losing it.
Next,
I'll tell you
Only
that.
reason I'm
yeah, I know, we're almost there. Next dono is Rex Kendrick with another 4,000 Colombian peso. Pete, how does a Jotaro reference?
It's not a JoJo's reference. Nothing's a JoJo's
Hold
reference.
that.
I don't know what Jotaro is.
Jotaro, it's a protagonist from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Did I miss any?
That's how you know.
All right.
You rat
So then
bastard.
technically
I
the
love you.
last dono is from Bam for $5
This is
saying,
great.
funny thing, Ben called me when I donate 500 to you guys thinking I was donating to webcam girls. LOL.
That's great.
That's incredible.
That is a great compliment.
That is
You know.
incredible. I
JK,
envy
there's
you.
one more.
Then if you come on like an After Dark when you come in December, if
We'll
you still
talk
plan on
about that
coming,
story.
That's the story you gotta tell, man.
Probably my favorite reaction ever on the channel so far.
Yeah.
This
That
one.
was-
I read that.
Like,
That
the
was
second I
great.
read
Last
that main
dono.
power dying, that was
Yeah,
great.
that was-
Last
Yeah.
dono.
insane.
Elizabeth W. for $1.99. Honorable mention. Where's the beach episode?
Yeah,
I
where's the
know.
beach episode?
Top
Unanswered
10
question.
disappointments.
That's
Yeah.
number 3 in top 10 disappointments.
Number
3.
Definitely should have had a beach.
That's number 1.
That's 1A for me.
1A. Should have had a beach.
That's 1Z.
Should have
for
been.
me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Kate, Cal,
I
Nick,
guess
T,
1A,
Meg,
that makes
Pete.
sense.
Thank you guys for joining us and going over the
Of course.
top 5 unanswered questions from Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. We will have some more Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Top 5 podcasts, a few more videos planned for you guys this coming weekend and next week. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.
day.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.